don't do this to me. Sometimes it doesn't actually grab the game. I push the button and nothing happens. Okay, well, I'm here, and I found the face camera button, as you can see. And I have it in a macro. What was that? Was that Papa Don? Oh, Pampa Dude. Yes. Anyway, there's the boy indeed. I'm wearing my Dark Knight glam, which actually incorporates one of the glams we discovered while leveling, which is the infantry chest piece. I think it's fucking great, but this is my Dark Knight glam that I worked on. Now, I only have what I can access to level 46, which is not much, but I've paired it up with the Viera arms and legs that I think is pretty effective. And then some pants. I don't remember where I got these pants, but I thought they had a cute belt, so here we are. Anyway, we've also got the amethyst choker that June made for us. I'm never getting rid of that stuff. Anything somebody makes for me, or anything that is a glam that's gifted, never getting rid of it. Yeah, I like the claws on the boots too. I mean, we feel edgy enough to be a Dark Knight, but then we don't look so edgy that it takes away from like Bun Boy's natural aesthetic. Okay. So, there's a secret bonus with this glam that I shall not reveal until it is time. But you may notice there at the bottom, we are not Dark Knight level 35. We are Dark Knight level 45. Actually managed to get 15 levels pretty easily between support class grind or support duty grinding, which really was just a matter of shout out to Chibs McRiblets. Really only took like maybe 3 or 4 runs. I did like 2. I think I did 2 of Gobby Cheese and then 1 Stone Vigil solo, and then that got my stuff where it needed to be. And then I also got, let's see, Machinist. Let's take a look at this. I already got my glam set up for this as well. A very simple setup, but one I'm a fan of. Peacekeeper gloves and boots with slate gray dye, going with the Karn jacket. And some pants that I actually bought off the market board because I was like, fucking cargo pants, sign me up. I loved the texture on them. They cost me like 4,000 gil. Absolutely worth it. I feel like I found an absolute gem at the at the Salvation Army. So I think it's good. I've wanted to use the Karn jacket for so long, but I could never find something to put it with. So here we go. I finally got one. Your ninja has the whole Karn set on. Oh, it's nice. I love the rope on the back. I love the extra pockets. The tassels are great. And of course, you've got to have your cowboy boots and gloves if you're going to be shooting some stuff. Now, I'll probably still do the Gagastus, the Lady Gaga skin set, because that's a real fucking nice bandito set. But I'll probably be able to swap between the two depending on how I'm feeling. But this is, for now, probably the best I could assemble. So those are my 2 new glams. I feel good about them. I've also got a really comfy one here on Lancer, which is just like, I'm going to go to the beach, which also has the Peacekeeper boots and gloves, and that's just fantastic, because why not? But, that's good. And then I have Archer, which I think is just a basic Viera. Yeah, a casual Viera. The modern Viera is how I'm handling this. I think it's great. I think the Viera top with its pouches might have been really good. And the turquoise from the belts there could have gone with the Peacekeeper boots really well now that I'm looking at it. Oh, I have to try. I have to try this out now. I have to see. I'll have to look at it later. But that's my glams. That's my glams. Yes, I dream of someday having a midriff that I can put in a crop top and not feel nervous about. That is my goal. That is what I told the person. Oh, shit. That's what I told the, nice. Looking good. I love the pants. Pants are one of the best parts of it. But I was talking to a personal trainer to try and get that set up, and I was telling him I want to be able to wear a crop top and not feel bad about it. She laughed because I think she's required to, as part of her job. But anyway, that happened. Well, anyway, let's swap over to Dark Knight. It's time for us to do a job quest. We have access to 3 of them in a row, which would be great. What the fuck is Dark Mind? Reduces magic vulnerability by 20%. Oh. Well, I'm going to just put that there. If I know the enemy is doing magic damage, I'll do this. I might actually do something like this. I think I'd rather the 20% slow and then just do a 4 there. I don't know. I feel like provoke is something that I probably could get away with this. This is a button I'm going to hit very rarely, this one too. I'm going to hit those infrequently, and if I'm hitting them frequently, it's because it's one of these go together, so I might as well do this. Control 2 is provoke. I think that's the relationship I want to set up there. I've really enjoyed Dark Knight. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've got my mouse buttons where I need to move you. Should always just have that on, of course. I don't need a hotkey for it because I'm just literally only going to press it once. Maybe in the middle of a fight, I'll just click it if I need it. Yeah, but in all my classes, I've got like a jump back button, like, not Lancer, Dragoon. I've got that on a thumb button on my mouse, so I can always do it. And I've got my strongest dive in effect is going to be right there. Here we go. Yeah, and then there's a feint. I think I'm going to use that for control back, because this is like a defensive ability, is control back. Like on my Bard, I've got my jump back, and then I've got my forward being. Oh, it's so nice. I don't have to click it anymore. Oh, it's so good. Although, honestly, I probably should have this, and then control forward would be that. Although, maybe control forward should be my peloton, which I don't have to use my left hand for, which is great. So that's how I've got things set up, if you're really good about it. Machinist just has peloton. I'm probably going to standardize that to peloton's always going to be in that spot. Interrupt is right there. That's really good. And then this button for both of these guys. And then, oh, that's great. If I do end up getting a repelling shot or something, I can put it there. But I don't think I do. I don't think I get anything like that. So, fuck it, who cares? Moving so many buttons, I get so lost. Yes, I went from WSASD 1 through 5, Control 1 through 5, Alt 1 through 5, Shift Control 1 through 5. Those were my hotkeys. Now I have QERFTG, Control QERFTG, and now I have 1 through 5, Control 1 through 5. That's it. So this is my QWERTY setup, Control QWERTY 1 through 6, 1 through 5, Control 1 through 5. And then these are mouse buttons all the way on the right. God, I wish I had a mouth button. I'd be the best game player. Give me DDR with a mouth controller. I'd fucking win. Guitar Hero with the mouth controller. Even easier. Be great. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go do the Dark Knight quest jobs, job quests, as many as we can access. We're up to level 45, so we'll be able to do, I think, 3 of them, which would be fantastic. And then we'll go into MSQ. We'll go right into MSQ from there. And then between tonight and tomorrow, I'll get Dark Knight up to 50. We'll do that. If I'm able to, I'll get it to 55. I don't know if that's a thing. If we just get it. No, I'll get it to 50, and then we start doing MSQ with it. We don't worry about pushing it anymore in that way, which is great. Where's my strafe buttons? I don't use them because I'm always holding down right-click, so I'm always facing whatever direction the camera is facing. So I can strafe by just doing right-click and then A and D. That's how I strafe. That's how I've always been able to get that done. Because I never used the Q and E strafe buttons. It never made sense to me. If I need to move this way, I just do that, you know. It's easier. The fewer movement buttons I have, I feel like the more able I'm going to be to get around using them. I also haven't run into a situation where I had to move diagonally that I couldn't just do this. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's also, if I do need to run diagonally, I can do this. I think I do this sometimes, but usually I'm just going this way. Yeah, you do have all 8 directions with the WSAD controls. It's true. Anyway, are they playing tag? That's cute. Oh, Kombucha, what a great name. Oh, he's leveling Archer. What a cutie. Oh, he's wearing just the Vieira basic set. Dude, just start playing the game. Hell yeah. Here we go. Use your strafe keys more than A and D most days. Whoa. That's interesting. Is that man naked? He's there we go. Wow. Yeah, they're flesh colored. I love that. I need to find some tights and make them flesh colored. I think that'd be a fun glam. Maybe I'll do that for Rogue, which has nothing, but if I just get like the smallest pants that I can make flesh colored, I think that'd be a good look. I don't know if there's going to be a flesh color for his, because his is so like coffee tan kind of thing. You never use AD for movement if you're on keyboard and mouse. Are you also a QE, Chad? Is that what you do? I look like that thing. Hold on. I mean, I would never, God, I would never do this. This is fucking ridiculous. But holding down the right camera, A and D, makes so much more sense. I don't mind clicking. Oh, hey, Amber. I don't mind clicking at all. I just don't want to do a lot of it. Without the, like, if I was on not mouse and keyboard, I wouldn't know what to do, but I hold down right click the entire time I'm fighting. You have both hands on the key. That makes sense, yeah. The Q and E movement doesn't make any sense if you've got your hand on a mouse. But if you've got both hands on a keyboard, 100% I think required, right? Yiz and Rihanna, you on a keyboard, or are you controller chads, or are you double wielding the keyboard? This is blowing my mind. Because, like, I don't even think I have my keys bound to be able to play on the keyboard. Your keyboard mouse. Really? So you do QE on a keyboard mouse? Ah, yeah, healing your 100% on the controller and the camera is always moving, yeah. Yeah, I suppose it would... The only reason I really like this is that I feel like I have complete control to look wherever I need to. I feel like almost like I'm playing an FPS, which is very much how I prefer to do keyboard and mouse. If I can ever make it feel like an FPS, I'm more comfortable. Yeah, your abilities are bound to your mouse. So you've got one of those MMO mice. That would make sense too. If you could turn your mouse into a keyboard and that works for you, I feel like that's got to offer a lot of versatility as well. Yiz, can you even claim that he's wrong, though? There we go. Can you claim that he's wrong? I don't think you can. I think there's no defense. I think you have just been defeated. That's it. No, that's not the point? Oh, I see. It's not the fact that you play with one hand so you can jerk off mid-raid. The point is that now people know about it. I see. Okay, let's run off to somewhere in Kurthus, probably up to Foundation. And let's go do the next Dark Knight quests. We should have 3 of them in a row here. One hand on the controller, the other hand on the food. That is also a big brain play. I think after all of us have gone through T13 doing Bahamut together, there's nobody in this community whose control schemes can be criticized, you know? We have shown and demonstrated by our group that pretty much any control configuration is going to be viable. As long as it makes sense to you, that's all that matters, right? I'm a big fan. Like, I'm constantly holding down right-click to the point that I wish there was a button that would toggle it. So it was just always like that. And I didn't have to hold down the button because that would... My middle finger's not happy with having to be held down all the time. Also, what the fuck am I doing? Ishgardian Justice. Oh, it is right over here. I'm a genius. Okay. Come here, fifth husband, I think. I can't remember what number you are. I'm just going to refer to you as husband. There we go. Oh, flood of darkness. Okay, sounds good. Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 100 to all enemies in a straight line before you. Grants dark side, increasing damage dealt by 10%. Duration, 30 seconds. Extends dark side duration by 30 seconds to a maximum of 60 seconds. So if I use it twice, it costs 3,000 mana. That's a thonk right there. She has a recast timer with Edge of Darkness, which I don't think I have yet. Yeah, I've heard healers with controllers being a legitimate thing to do. No, not that. What? The command BGM is unavailable at this time. Well, I want the background music. All right, Frey, what do you got? He likes my glam, finally. Good, I put this together just for him. Perfect. Well, I'm glad he likes it. We're a dark knight, but that doesn't mean we can't be a colorful knight at the same time, okay? Mr. Gloom and Doom. Anyway, well, don't you look the part. Ready to harness the darkness within to set the wrong things right. Now, bear in mind that while the darkness gives you strength, that strength comes at a cost. That is but one sacrifice, though, and justice demands many. Say a man, a venerable, untouched man, harms a child in unspeakable ways. He strides through the hopland, secure in the knowledge that he is beyond punishment. But for one who cuts down that vile beast as he flaunts his freedom, who knows how many others will suffer. Such was the dilemma faced by a goodly knight not long ago. He knew that he would be stripped of his titles and denounced for the deed. The threshold we refuse to cross is a line we draw for ourselves. We fear the consequences, and people suffer in our indiscretion. Everyone who held that crystal came to conquer that fear, and became who they wanted to be. That night was the first. Will you be the next? Think on that while we look into the commotion down below. So the entire time I've been having this other adventure, this lady's been down here screaming and actively getting mugged. It has been days, perhaps a week or more, that she's been down here just getting mugged. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see healers needing to be controller, because I think you're able to navigate the party menu more easily to select your allies, because you can't just tab target that as far as I know, unless it's like a control tab, which would be cool. But I also wouldn't want to be doing my control hotkeys and accidentally hit tab. I've enjoyed being able to control tab and still just be tab. There we go. They took breaks, stopped screaming at each other for tea. They came back after dinner and they went home to sleep and came back and just resumed the mugging. Looking at the script like, when the fuck does the Dark Knight show up? He's supposed to be here. Just waiting for me. I'm off in, I'm off at the long stop farming some fucking dragon ass. Also, has anyone else seen the, good lord, that's sour. Whoa. Whoa, in a good way. I need beer salt to go with this. Holy shit, that tastes like a margarita. Wow. So for those of you who are now morbidly curious, I got the lemonade and Mio. And I put a lot in there, apparently. That is sour. That tastes like a margarita, but not slushed ice. Just regular fucking ice. That's not bad, actually. I do need, like, lime salt. Or beer salt somewhere in there. That'd be good. A nice sharp salt. Ugh, that'd be fantastic. Okay. I forgot what I was talking about. The Stone Vigil updated. And in some patch, I don't know, but since I last ran it, the Stone Vigil changed. And I ran it solo with support duty, which I've fallen in love with, by the way. This is such a good fucking feature. Such a good feature. But I ran the Stone Vigil one time as Dark Knight. With the support duty, and I was walking down the hall. I'm like, I don't remember that being on fire before. And so I'm like, I guess I'll go to the right. And then I look at a boss arena like, I don't remember you either. And then I get in there and I don't know what these tornadoes are doing. And then I discovered what they do to you. Just great. You know, it's a great introduction, because before you know what the twister mechanic... This little fucker, what are you doing? Disgusting. Before you know what the twisters are in T9, you would go to that dungeon, you'd be forced to see the concept of a twister that throws you up. So then, Raid Leader Rion at that point can go, hey, you remember Stone Vigil, right? With that one dragon that does the tornadoes, yeah? Well, here in Twintania, you get something similar, except they don't spawn in static positions and move toward you throughout the arena. They just spawn under your feet. You've got to fuck off before they get you. Stay mobile, teehee. You know, something to that effect. But you'd be able to reference that in future mechanics. I love seeing those mechanics, at least in part, visible earlier in the game, where they could be treated as kind of a tutorial, which is pretty good. They gave me the biggest blow they did. Hey, Mico. You get to start doing that shit going forward? Yes! I'm so excited. I know you've mentioned that. You've mentioned that. I'm very excited to see it. At some point, you're just going to be able to go, okay, in the next phase, dive bomb Shakira. All right, and in the last phase, you know, you're just going to be able to do that. It's going to be so fast. You don't really even have to explain what those mechanics are. Honestly, the most exciting thing will just be when you go, okay, new mechanic, and we're all just going to go, fuck yeah, let's go. You know? It's going to be great. It's going to be a moment of absolute fucking hype for me, that's for sure. Hey, Siren. You're on your way back home from Cure Beach. Ooh. The adventure's going well. Yeah, we're going to do job class tonight. Ah, there we go. Music time. All right. Lowborn Crone. Oh, damn. Imagine you're the NPC and you get labeled Lowborn Crone. You feel fucking bad, don't you? Exactly, Rihanna. I'm excited for that. Plan tonight is to do 3 job quests for Dark Knight. then jump into MSQ unless this takes a long while. I will be analyzing it just as if it were any other MSQ or any other quest line that we do. The big reason we're playing Dark Knight is because we wanted to see the story. So we're going to go through and see what happens. Also, Silver, I just saw this. Thank you very much for the resub. A 9-month streak, 11 months total. Very nice, man. He says, suck fuck, which is great. The best message. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Listen, I'm not going to do the joy voice for every woman in Ishgard. But boy, does it feel like it would fit her. She doesn't necessarily seem like she'd be British. She definitely looks like a crone, though. Please, I don't know what to do. It's my granddaughter. I didn't see him standing there, and I know that's no excuse. I should have been more careful. So this is interesting. She's wording it where something bad has happened to her, clearly, but it seems like she is apologizing for it, which the fact that she's also called the lowborn crone. That should contrast with something. Why is it important that she's lowborn? Because it factors into what's happening here with her character, right? We look at things like this. This must be her boy. At first, I was like, did whoever she ran into take her boy? No, he's there. I hope this is him. So what's interesting about Frey's story so far is that he's clearly talking about his own past, where he saw an unrighted injustice. He saw an injustice and nobody was doing anything about it. And he decided to basically become a professional vigilante. That's what Dark Knight appears to be. I mean, it is called the Dark Knight. Batman's a vigilante, so I don't know if that's an intended overlap. But basically, this is the Batman class. And I'm very excited about it. So we use the darkness in our hearts to become Batman. So it's I don't remember which company. It's not Marvel, is it? It's DC. Batman's DC, right? I don't fucking know. Whatever the hell. If Batman and Squeenix came together, I suppose they would become Dark Knight tank class. But that's what we're dealing with here. What's interesting to me is that he's setting up what sounds like potentially foreshadowing that we're almost certainly going to end up in a similar position, right, as our test to make a moral decision that is itself extrajudicial. We have to make a decision about what is the right thing and then do it and fuck the system. Fuck the system. This thing needs to be burned. We're going to burn it. I'm not going to go appeal to the church to burn this thing. We'll fucking burn it. Now, narratively for our character and what I think is going to happen in the MSQ, being Dragoon, cool, because we're going to be fighting some dragons. Being a Dark Knight, really cool, because I think we're not going to be publicly known as a Dark Knight. I think we're just going to be known as perhaps Warrior. I might even level Warrior as a cover class, so that I am known as Warrior. I might level that up to 50 as well over the course of this, because I do want to catch up that job quest, and I think being Warrior would be fun in the future. Keeping it up to level means that it's something I don't have to level up all the way again to be able to put into the next expansion, so to speak. I think the post MSQ grind is going to include getting every class that's available up to this point up to level 60, all of them, all the job quests, everything, and just catch all that stuff up. So I have every option on the table moving into Stormblood, that every class is available for the what role am I gonna main next time, which is good. So what I think is going to be really interesting, because I know eventually whenever you have like a holy order or some kind of righteous body in the position of power, inevitably your character is going to end up being at odds with them. And when that happens, it's going to be like, we are already going to be seen as a heretic because of our little dragon friend. I'm almost certain of it. Like I called it from near the beginning, right? Not that I think I'm going to be right, you know, not for that reason, but I see it going that way. These people fucking hate dragons. I happen to be friends with one. That's a conflict of interest that I think they're not going to be willing to, especially because it's not just any dragon, it's Midgard Stormheart. You know? I have a feeling that I'm going to be at odds with the Holy See purely because of that. I may even become a full-on fucking outcast. And I may become hunted by Ishgard, which is just a repeating pattern at this point. So I think the least we could possibly do to be involved in this society, the better, because we don't want to plant roots just to... We know they're going to get ripped up again. So let's do very shallow roots, if any at all. Just enough to not become a tumbleweed. But eventually we're going to get uprooted and fucking chucked, so we know what's going to happen. Being a Dark Knight makes a lot of sense for us, too, because we are going to exist in this extrajudicial space. We are not an Ishgardian. We are not deeply involved in their politics and their everything. We are a visitor. We are a meddler at best, right? So I think being a Dark Knight makes a lot of sense for our character's personal narrative, and I think it's going to fit really well into the MSQ, because the moment that we get called a heretic, I'm just going to class change into Dark Knight and be like, well, if that's what you want, then that's what you get. You know? Here we go. Is friends with Midgardsormr really the right description? We certainly are not enemies. We might be frenemies. I'm not sure. But he does kind of sit on our shoulder and only we can talk to him. We are either hallucinating him, which I doubt, or Hydaelyn said, you're friends now. You need to wear the friendship shirt. And it's just the bun boy and Midgardsormr sharing an oversized t-shirt that says the get along shirt. That's 100% what I think is happening here. So maybe friends with Midgardsormr isn't the right label, but it isn't far off, to be fair. Acquaintances, comrades even? Nah, not comrades. We're getting along with him, and I think to some extent we are bound to him, which is going to obviously, I think, be a problem. Anyway, let's continue with Dark Knight. I keep forgetting. Hua! It's the kind of lemon that, like, battery acid on the back of the tongue, which is, ugh, delicious, but still, when you're not expecting it, that's really strong. Oh, maybe the guy did take the granddaughter. Uh-oh. There we go. Co-workers under Hydaelyn. Yes, that sounds right. But my granddaughter, she started yelling at the temple knight, and I tried to stop her, I did, but then she said she had to come with him. And if I could just tell him how sorry I am, maybe he would let her go. He'd take you too, is what he'd do. Even if you went and begged the blue bastard to intervene, it'd be too late by then. Ain't the first time they've taken a girl her age. If she doesn't fight back, they might let her go after. Oh, jeez, after what? Is the implication that they're going to rape the child? Is that the implication? And the only reason that might be an implication is that Frey has talked about this pedophile, this noble pedophile that he went and murdered. And then now we're talking about a little girl being stolen by the guard, and she might be let go after this, and the grandma's reaction is, no, there has to be another way. I mean, like, are we talking about this girl getting fucking raped? The context has been set up in a way that this seems really out of line with, like, the parameters of morality that are going to be explored here in Final Fantasy. It being alluded to is one thing, but, like, being implied is a whole different thing. Is being, like, a thing that's happening now. I don't think it's going to be that. Maybe they rough her up, interrogate her. Maybe they just, like, they punch her a little bit, put her to manual labor. Like, I'm not sure what the punishment is that she's going to undergo here before they potentially let her go, but it sounds fucking extreme. Ah, Ishgardian Justice. They might spare the girl, you know. Leave her with a few scars and a lifelong lesson. So they're probably going to, like, torture her. Or we could beat every last one of them within an ilm of their lives and rescue the girl. You'd like to do that, wouldn't you? Yep. I knew you would. Everything is going to be all right, madam. When I'm through with those knights, they'll not dare trouble you ever again. Oh, thank you, thank you. Can dilute it with more water? That would require me getting out of my seat, and I have fully nested. That is not happening. There we go. Perfect. Assuming they didn't just drag her into an alley, they've taken her either to the congregation or the tribunal. The Honorable Sir Emmerich wouldn't suffer such reprehensible behavior under his roof. The Inquisition, on the other hand, well, so that leaves the tribunal. If the girl's still alive, I imagine they'll make a manner of threats, come any closer and she dies, and so forth. If so, we'll need to make something perfectly clear to them. We're not here for her. We're here for you. Once they understand she means nothing to us, they'll attack us or flee. I don't know about you, but I'm eager to find out which. I really like reading this character. You have learned all Dark Knight actions and traits to level 30. Detailed descriptions can be viewed in the Actions and Traits window, accessed under Character in the main menu. Perfect. I really like reading him. His character is one that I have on my demo, which is really nice. If they were to ever do all the voice acting for these job quests, I would audition for that role. I think that's the kind of character that I read very comfortably. I don't have to work too hard to be able to do that kind of character. All right. So the name drop of Mr. Emmerich got my pants wet. I'm not going to explain why. A little bit of fear, a whole lot of love, if you want to call it that. In any case, what the fuck is that name? Okay, it's a legit name. Let's take a look at the map. So if we look up at the pillars, we know that, if we look in here, St. Romuald's Cathedral. Yeah, which is, Sir Emmerich is in charge of this then, right? And then the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory Doctrine. Fuck's sake. Off to the tribunal. And this is where this Dark Knight went in there already and was dueling and or fighting off a bunch of the knights and got his ass beat, but did not die, which is interesting. Off to the tribunal. Time for us to do the same. Yeah, the bun boy in an Ishgardian Insane Asylum wearing a straitjacket would also be a fantastic glam. See, until we are seen as a heretic, I just want to be seen as kind of the mercenary type. It's part of the glam. That's right, pose for the camera. I don't want to be seen as a Dark Knight. I don't want to be seen as a heretic. We are still sort of incognito here, but the darkness is welling up in our heart. Oh, I'd love to sit over there. Why do you keep the gazebo so well hidden? There's not even a door that... Oh, there is a door that leads to it. Fantastic. Look at that set design. Excellent. Okay, off we go. Somewhere down here, I think. I suspect. Oh, it's all the way down there. Oh, I'm supposed to run up here, I suppose. I wasn't supposed to. I already had to be at the tribunal, though, to even unlock this quest. I don't know. Maybe it was faster to just walk over here than to teleport. Did someone say gazebo? I did, Fern. I thought about you. Is that where you live in Ishgard? Did you buy that place? No guardrails. Someone call OSHA. Someone honk at villain. She is our OSHA specialist. There we go. Just the one sword between the two of us, I'm afraid. You keep it. I dare say it fits rather snugly in your hands. But don't worry about me. I'll do my part to keep you on your feet. Now, should things turn violent, as I expect they shall, you shall need to tap into your dark side to survive. It's not unlike drawing upon your own ether to weave magic. Fear, pain, rage, that which lies in the deepest depths of your soul makes for a potent fuel. But be warned, burn too much too quickly and you risk being consumed. Do not worry, Mico. The first steps over the threshold is always the hardest. Oh, I've been practicing, dipping into my darkness. Ah, yes, I should have known you'd do that. Right then, let's find the girl. Very nice. Oh, I should change my minion. Who do we got today? I'm betting Rudy. Very... Oh, I fucking nailed it! Look at that. Fucking nailed it. I just assumed I was wrong, and I looked at him and was like, wait a minute. That's actually him. Love when that happens. Oh, shit. It's 4 of them. They're not in the tribunal, though. And all we're doing is picking a fight with the guards, but they may not recognize us, because I think that what they're doing is definitely not, like, the will of the church. So I bet that we can punch them back and be like, yeah, what are you going to do? Go to your masters? Fuck off. I think that's exactly level 34. You're in danger, sir. You're in danger. Damn it, girl, you're only making it worse for yourself. The hell's with you? I've done nothing wrong. Oh, lady, if you've lived here for 10 minutes, you should know. There's no arguing. There we go. Why are the pretty ones always so daft? If I had a gil... Oh. If I had a gil for every time I had to kill an unrepentant bastard like you. God, he's pretty. What the... Are you threatening a temple knight? Oh, you're very clever. Yes, I am. Now let her go. Enough of this. With me, girl, now. One more word of protest and I'll toss your grandmother in a cell to rot. You three, seize this imbecile. You knew he was the main bad guy because he did not have a helmet today. We get to see his face, which means important character. All right, let's go. Come here, bitch. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's my button. Come here. I don't have that button yet. Hey, fuck you. No AoEs. I'm the only one allowed to AoE here. Here we go. Oh, man. Goodbye. Or are we gonna have to fight more? Reinforcements, eh? Looks like we'll have to even the odds. Come on, Frey, you've got another sword. I see it. Do you see, Mico? The flames beckon. Immerse yourself in the flames and ignite the darkness within. Oh shit, nice. Mico, fine. Just so. As it burns harder, so too does your strength. You give me all of it. I want every bit of it. Excellent. I warned you not to drink too deep. Nope, I'm good. Off we go. Hey you, get over here. There we go. Hey, don't you try to AoE me, bitch. I'm too dancy. So I had to retrain myself to use all of these hotkeys again. Everything changed. I even sat with Bard for like 20 minutes in front of a dummy just practicing my rotation on the new hotkeys. Come on. I want all of it. Every bit of it. That's nice. 80%. I see that over there. Come on. I'm doing it. You can't stop me. Come on. There we go. Nice. Nice. 86. I can do more. I can, I promise. Where is the frightened maid anyway? Is she over here? Nope, that's not right. All right, let's take a look at this. I imagine she's in the tribunal. I'm going to try up here. Okay, off we go. Delicious darkness tastes like grape soda. Sounds good, man. Hey, is someone looking at me funny? I love that line. Come here. Oh, can't wait to have my, I'm assuming there's a 1, 2, 3 combo for AoE. Nope, come here. I must be darker. Delicious. I stepped in. It just takes a minute. Frey took one. Fuck you. That's mine. She just stabbed me in the head. That's fine. It's okay. I'm not worried about it. Whoa. What? What are you running at Frey for? Fucking nerd. Come here. I had a lot of fun running with everyone in the group earlier today. Running dungeons. I did I did the long stop with the group, and I was doing Murgo pulls. I was pulling everything I could, and was letting Rian have a big old grand time trying to keep... You motherfucker, come here. Did I miss my combo up? That's fine. You get the special steppy. Nice. Got it. Look at all the fire. Give it to me. Oh, that's it. Okay. Right, mate. They had time to tie her up. How many people have I killed? Surely this is going to go noticed. I didn't die, did I? I didn't. And then we went to... For those of you who yet live, remember this horror. Oh, I can't. There's not enough time to read that. Something about that. Making a grand threat like a good boy. That's what you do. No, I didn't die. When we went to the Stone Vigil, though, we got very close. I also let Panda die. Panda went up as a ninja, I think, and he aggroed like 3 things. He's running ahead of me and aggroed like 3 things. And I just sat on the side and bee's kneesed until he finally succumbed to his wounds. And then I went in and scooped everything up so the other 2 would survive. Listen, we go at my pace or we don't go at all. If you would like to tank, I will let you tank. Oh, it was Samurai. That's right. Yeah. Anybody who wants to tank is welcome to. Does not bother me at all. There we go. I don't know what to say, sir. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Panta learned right then and there that I do not fucking care. Yeah, I was surprised how long you survived, but I think that was more to the credit of Rian slamming every heal spell he had. You did a lot of damage, though, before they brought you down. Yeah. I got a little carried away earlier. It's just that when I saw how they were treating my grandmother, I had to say something, and yeah, you got yourself thrown in jail for it. Here we go. What? No one screamed your name. My grandmother called out just the once, but that was it. Speaking of which, I should hurry back. Nice, Fern. Go eat, Mico Gun. I suppose I ought to say that I'm sorry for what I did, but I'm not. Those knights had it coming. Halona. Halona bless you for what you did. Yeah, Panda. Yep. I also think Rian was being very sweet when I wasn't using any of my defensive abilities. Ugh. Ooh, just looked at it again. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Anyway, I was not using my defensive abilities because I just wasn't thinking about it. Or I was using it only when I got to like 50%. I'm like, oh, I'm squishy. So I pushed a button to not be squishy anymore. And then Rian was like, use it when you pull. I'll save all that extra HP, which was great. Rather than just letting me die. He's very sweet. All right. Feels good, doesn't it? Oh, fuck. There we go. Feels good, doesn't it? Strange, maybe, but a good strange, I'll wager. You tapped into something primal, a power nestled within you, yearning to be free. Canonically, all Viera do have a feral mode, as established in Final Fantasy XII in one of the best cutscenes in Final Fantasy ever, which is where Fran becomes a goddamn animal, one of the most quiet characters in the game who has maybe 5 lines of the entire thing, and everyone is so good. She does have a feral button, and I do think that every Viera inherently has a feral button. And I think this class is basically, did you find your feral button? Now push it, which is fantastic now. Lord of Sram, allow me to tell you if you don't already know. We have a pretty nice little community here where we basically only play with each other, so we don't have to play with random people who will report us. And then we just do whatever the fuck we want, including mega pulls, rescuing each other into AoEs, which is great, and then letting our friends die when they want to be tanks. All females have a feral button. I have heard this, though I have not investigated much myself. Rescue is for trolling friends. Oh, I agree. 100%. Lord of Sram, tell me about your experiences with Final Fantasy XIV. As I don't believe we've ever spoken before. We're on Famfrit and the Primal cluster. Hello, Giddens Fib of Dawn Clan. Goodbye, Giddens Fib of Dawn Clan. Okay, never mind. And that's good. There we go. As your understanding of this power grows, so too will your skill as a Dark Knight. You've done well. Far better than I could have hoped, in fact. But there is still so much more to learn. So much further to go. I won't lie to you, Mico. The risk will only increase. If you want to keep going, you'll have to trust in me. Can you do that? I can. Absolutely. Why do you think I married you? That's good. That's a promise. Circumstances being what they are, it might be best if we parted ways for a while. Think of it as an opportunity to hone your skills in my absence. But don't worry, we will meet again. When the time is right, I'll be waiting where we first met. Cool. I mean, we're gonna just walk over there and be like, hey, bitch, slap ass. There we go. Nice. Gotcha, Sram, yeah. Well, I'm glad Twitch is recommending me. They should have been doing that when I was trying to get partnered. Fuck. You're a black mage main. Oh, shit, nice. With a white mage as secondary. Just lost your sprout status 2 months ago. Hell yeah, dude. What expansion are you in now? Obviously, I'm in Heavensward. There we go. If you're looking for a group to play with, and you're in our server cluster, then feel free to join the Discord. We got a little Final Fantasy section we're using to play together. Alright, the next Dark Knight quest will be available from Frey upon reaching level 35, I believe so. The requirements for undertaking subsequent quests can be reviewed in your journal. Nice. We're ready to go. You learn to control the darkness within! Clapping in the background. Even if you're off cluster, as long as you're in a... Yeah, they expanded that recently, did they? Oh, shit, nice! That's cool. Okay, dark side gauge. This timer indicates the duration of dark side, which increases damage dealt. Using Flood of Darkness or Edge of Darkness, acquired at level 40, grants dark side. I can't pronounce your name. Of Goblin Clan. I saw a Lalafell of Goblin Clan earlier. It's fantastic. All right, let's instantly go and put this somewhere. Where the fuck do you go? I think that's a fair place to just stick it there. It looks terrible until I have a hot bar up. Until I have the target bar. Honestly, do I put these together? I like to keep the actual image up. Let's move the blood gauge. Imagine there's a conventional... There's a conventional, like, band of... Oh, look how nicely that fits. There's this conventional group of guild leaders of the Dark Knight affinity, right? And then they're talking to new initiates who are just like guys off the street because, you know, because maybe they're looking for a job and they want to get some training as a Dark Knight. Or maybe there's some kind of like vigilante group or something, but, you know, public access. And they come in and like, here's your standard issue blood gauge. The fuck did I walk into? You can check out this. Yeah, I discovered there is a simple version of a lot of this stuff, but I found that, you know, it's not bad. If you need to save space, it's fantastic, but I don't need to save space. I rather have a, I don't know, I don't feel like my UI is bulky. I feel like I could trim it down even more if I put the HP up there and moved all my buttons down, but fuck it, I kind of like it. Although, honestly, if I did move this down one more, I could put the limit gauge down there, HP up at the top right under my feet. Not that I ever look at it. Maybe as a caster when I have to monitor my MP, that might be better. Oh, fuck it. We'll do that later. We'll look at it later. I'm not worried about it right now. Absolutely not worried about it right now. Okay, so let's go do the next quest. Let's go do the level 35. 40. Level 40. And I got Flood of Darkness. I can't even use that because these two slots right here aren't anything because my brain goes Q, W, E, and if I try to, when I tried to put my keybinds here as this was Q, E, R, F, T, G, I would constantly hit this and be doing like tapping moving forward like this constantly. So I've got the W and S keys not listed there. So that's why I have to do it that way. Otherwise my brain will do something else. And then I have to train my brain that this is the key number keys. This is the Q keys. Anyway, not that you care. But that's what's going through my head. All right, let's go back down. This way. Honestly, I might as well just go back to Just go back to the Aetherite. Well, I haven't attuned this yet. Okay, I've done the Tribunal. I've done the last Vigil. I haven't done the Cathedral, and I haven't done the Crozier. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That's my best French. Okay, get off my ass. I'm trying. Yeah, the simple versions feel bland to me as well, Sram. They do. I like the art that they've gone through because everything else is really, they're buttons, you know. It's a square with dots in it, you know. It's very pragmatic. It's not bad, but it's very pragmatic, very utilitarian. I like something that's a little bit more designed. Not that I want any of this other stuff to change, of course. Anyway. Hello, husband. Next up, we get Blood Weapon. Wait, hold on. Don't talk to me yet. Flood of Darkness I just threw there, but I don't know what this does. Deals unexpected damage with a potency of 100 to all enemies in a straight line before you. Look at that dress. Holy shit. You're in 6.2 MSQ now, so you just had just a tad ahead of me. Yeah, just a little bit. Most people in the community are multiple expansions past me. I got started real late in this group. And I'm going through and doing literary analysis as we do the whole MSQ and every quest that we do, so I'm also taking a whole lot of time to do it. But we've had a lot of fun. We also do raid nights on Saturday and Sunday right now, which is very good. The simple and clean version, yeah, all the Kingdom Hearts noises going on here. Which, I mean, they are Squeenix. The Kingdom Hearts is right in their closet, so, you know, it's totally fine. Okay, I do know what this is, more or less, now. Grant the Dark Side, which is this thing. It's a resource. Increasing damage dealt by 10%. Fantastic. I'm a tank. Love doing damage, though. Duration for 30 seconds. But it also extends Dark Side duration by 30 seconds to a maximum of 60 seconds. So I could double tap it. I could give myself, I could spend 6,000 mana to get a minute of Dark Side. Shares a recast timer with Edge of Darkness. Maybe I'm supposed to use both of them and I'm not meant to just do Flood of Darkness twice. Maybe I'm supposed to do Flood and Edge of Darkness. Is that what you're offering me? Blood Weapon. Oh. What does that do? Grants 5 stacks of Blood Weapon, each stack restoring MP upon landing weaponsmith or weapon skills or spells. It does not stack when hitting multiple targets. So this is an MP regeneration. Okay, so I smack this, and then I do Edge of Darkness. Bam, bam, I've spent 6,000, I'm assuming 6,000 mana, and then I smack Blood Weapon to get that mana back. And then I probably just smack Blood Weapon on cooldown. That's probably what I do. Taking it slow is a nice idea. I agree. I've had a great time with ARR. I'm so glad to be into Heavensward finally. Am I a Dark Knight main, or am I just checking out the story for fun? A little bit of both. So what I'm doing is I'm also trying to build a character lore of the course of the entire game where all the events of the MSQ have an impact on him in some way. I actually let the community vote for what my main class should be going into Heavensward, the class that I'll take through MSQ, primarily the class that I will take through the Savage content, basically the next class that I'm going to focus on playing. Here's a look at what I've done so far. We've got Bard, which I basically only played Bard through all of ARR, which ended up being level 62 by the end of it. So we're not touching Bard anymore until Stormblood. I'm leveling Summoner up to 60 just so that I have it available. I'm going to get Gladiator into Paladin to level 60, and I'm going to get Marauder into Warrior to level 60 eventually. Monk I'm probably never going to play again, just doesn't strike me as interesting. Dragoon I'm playing as part of MSQ as well. Rogue is never going to be turned into a ninja. I'm just going to make it a level 90 rogue for the memes. And then, yeah, this sounds good to me. That's what I'm going to do. Probably will play Reaper at some point. The big thing about his history is that he's a Thavnairian farmer boy who came to Eorzea after the Cataclysm because he wanted to help, found himself mostly useless, didn't want to be a burden, so he took up odd jobs, helping out wherever he could, and ended up getting sucked up into the Warrior of Light track in the MSQ, and just kind of accidentally has landed himself here just because of, you know, one foot in front of the other. Started out as as a archer because it made sense. He was a Vieira. Why the fuck not? It was the simplest tool that he could get since he's not a thick boy. His speed and agility lended him to being a bard. An archer. Then he became a bard because he's naturally a dancer and singer, being Thavnairian, but he's never actually gone through the training process to becoming a Thavnairian dancer by trade. Hey, Jay Strauss, thank you, man. Appreciate the sub. There we go. So that's kind of the story we're going through, and I've tried to validate every class that we're playing is there's got to be a reason he's engaged it, if possible. Some of these don't really make sense. I mean, it's a stretch, but like the reason he's a summoner is that he was raising chocobos and dealing with other livestock and everything. So he's used to training animals, and he was like, fuck, what if we trained magic animals? And then turned out he was actually pretty good at it. So here we go with summoner. So each of these we're trying to figure out sort of what his backstory is based on these jobs so that they make sense. So Dark Knight definitely makes sense at this point, and I've talked about it. If you want to see the last 2 nights of Heavensward, we started Heavensward 2 nights ago. If you want to see that, then we've got all of these are going to be going onto YouTube, and I have my entire ARR journey from basically having never played the game all the way up through finishing ARR and all of the advanced content, including the Coils of Bahamut. Lots of fun. If you wanted to look at any of that, you'd be able to look at that playlist. And because we've added in every episode, we've looked at the quests that were in almost every episode. I think at some point we started doing this. In the description, we add the quests that were completed and what we were attempting to do on raid nights. I'm pretty sure we have that information in there, so you could actually just search for those specific videos. But in any case, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see what Heavensward has to offer. I'm really glad to be in Heavensward because I'm kind of tired of the rest of Eorzea. Like, we'd seen so much of it for so long, just like, oh, give me something else to look at. So Heavensward so far has been nice. All right, what do you got for me, husband? I had a feeling you'd come by tonight, Mico. And sure enough, there you are, eager to pick up where we left off. Let's start with a question, then. You must be burning with several... What? Oh, okay, I understand now. I understand what the fuck this says now. Let's start with the question, then. You must be burning with several after that last affair. Yeah, I want to know what became of her and her granddaughter. I'm going to follow up on what we saw just now. These are more personal. I'm sure we're going to find this out on our own, so I'm not inclined to ask. Why were you detained by the Inquisition is left field to the conversation, and it's not my business necessarily. But I do want to know the sort of outcome of the actions we took the other day or earlier today. What became of the old woman and her granddaughter? Oh, for the love of... They're fine, both of them. You solved all their problems. Happy? Now then, are you ready to stop dancing around the real question and just ask? Oh. I didn't think I'd get to ask more than one. Okay. Ah, yes, the voice. The one you heard when you first touched the crystal. An excellent question, but a difficult one to answer. Some say it is a beacon, guiding the Dark Knight to his true calling. Whose is it, you ask? Only you can discover that, for each knight must hearken to a different voice. As you grow more accustomed to drawing upon your dark side, you will come to hear it more clearly. My dark side voice is just Moonbrita. I've chosen. Moonbrita is just my dark voice. There we go. Or maybe, actually no, maybe it's Folkes from beyond the grave. May my first husband rest in peace. I'm pretty sure. At the current pace, the end of ARR will be coming out on the YouTube around September 21st-ish. Nice. There we go. Aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go apeshit? Yes, the feral button. My favorite button that all Viera have in a very special place. It's different for boys and girls, but they both do have it. There we go. But yeah, my dark side voice is just Folkes. It's just Folkes from beyond the grave. Communion will hasten this process, but we dare not conduct the rites here. What if he's Folkes? Oh! Maybe it's him. He survived, and this is his revenge arc. It's F for Fulkes. It's not Frey. Frey is just the frayed personality that remains after Fulkes. Okay, headcanon established. This is my husband reunited. Reborn. And I recognize him. I know that smell. I know that dusk white. He's a bit short for an elf. Listen, falling off a cliff will make you shorter. Okay, he landed on his leggies and it shortened them. I don't know. Don't fucking poke holes in my headcanon, Leandri. Communion will hasten this process, but we dare not conduct the rites here, under the watchful eye of the Holy See. We will make for southern Thanalan, for little Alamigo. Do not do it. It's my headcanon, you can't have it. Now, I'm excited to see if we ever do get Frey to take his helmet off, although, honestly, I do kind of like the mystique element of him always having his helmet on. I don't really want to know who he is. What matters is what he is, and that is a dutiful husband, and that's all that matters. Okay, I'm not running out the gate. We are going... No, not return. Also, I want to point something out. When you have the login screen, there's a guy in the bottom right. I'm pretty sure that is the exact same guy that we saw in the opening trailer. And I have seen him every time I log in, so when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, that's him! And I think there may be some implications to the fact that he's the man on the login screen. Let's get this centered. There's some implications to him being the man on the login screen. And I have some thoughts about that. I have opinions about fucking everything. It's my job. But yeah, I'm interested. Which guy? The main guy from the... I don't remember his name. I don't think we got his name. That's Meteor. He's a generic insert for the Warrior of Light. Okay. There we go. Okay, good. I'm glad. He looks almost identical to the guy from the intro. Okay, I'm very glad that it's not him, because that would have made an implication that either he is completely central to the entire game from now till the end, or, you know, which has the implication that he must survive it all, or he was such a big character that they've honored him with a place on the login screen and nobody else has ever taken that, which means, yeah. He's the generic insert for the Warrior of Light. That makes a lot more sense, and that puts me at ease. All right, Rudy, let's go. Hello, Frey. Punctual as ever, I see. Communion, lest you worry, is rather simple. It is a ritual in which one nurtures the darkness within so they may channel it more effectively in battle. Do not, however, presume that the risks to be any less than before. Should you partake in it in excess, you will die, or worse. So before we begin, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to kill something for me. Something feral. My sister. Something fearsome, which will push you to your limits. I want to see you thrive in that moment. That way I will know you are ready. Ask Gundabald. Ask Gundabald. Is that him? No, that's Giselbert. He should know of a suitable creature. It's behind him. I think Gildebald is down here. Is the guy in front of the tent. We talked to him a long time ago when we were establishing the Little Alamigan conflict. Yeah, Gundabald. We haven't talked to him in a long time. Liquid Snake. Brother! Fucking Liquid Snake, I swear to God. Yeah. Yeah, the launcher. Yeah, the launcher. Sorry, Sram. You were thinking that earlier, Silver, and you had a conversation about... Nice. I'm glad. Okay, I wasn't the only one who thought that. That makes me feel better. Perfect. He's seen some shit. But what does that mean? What does that mean? You've said he's seen some shit twice, even you just jumped in. Is that a meme? It's got to be a meme. I don't get it. There we go. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It looked like he was, fucking... What is that? Macho Man Randy Savage? Is that his name? Is that his name? I can't remember. He's a mix between Liquid Snake and Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, he just gives me the fat fucking smile. Hulk Hogan, that's it. No. Yeah, that's it. Hulk Hogan. But there's also some Randy Savage in there. The shaking like a chihuahua, 300-pound man, all muscle, drinks testosterone for breakfast. I'll understand when I'm older. I know, I just hate it. I want to know the memes. I fucking love the memes, man. I can't wait to get more. I want to understand, and don't tell me, but I want to understand the "this is Thancred" meme. And actually, you know what? Fuck it, that's probably another reason that they survive. I thought about that originally, but it didn't like click. But now it's like I've not seen the "this is Thancred" meme happen, which means that motherfucker must still be alive somehow. Anyway, you go through 5 expansions and see what you look like. Okay. We know nothing. We know nothing. All right, fuck y'all. Yeah, I have a while to go. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. A pleasure to see you again, Mico. Do you require assistance? Holy shit. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. Train it. Well, if you seek dangerous beasts for that purpose, then the Red Labyrinth is home to beasts notorious for their size and vigor. Incredible. Why are we getting the spooky music? Here we go. Our trappers take great pains to avoid their nests, and those who do not bear scars for their folly. I pity the man who dies without scars. But these, are they pastes or paists? I fucking hate this word every time I see it. I feel like it should be paestes. It could be pasty. Like, any of those would make sense. If it was Greek, it'd be pasty. Probably paeste. Actually, if it were legitimately Greek. I don't fucking know. I fucking hate this word every time. I have no idea how it's said. Thanks, Panda! There we go. My cam cut off just enough to make it sound nice. I'm glad. I'm glad I could bring that to you. Rappers take great pains to avoid their nests. Well, I've never heard something described as a nest and then also be a place I wanted to go or had any business being near. Do I want to fuck with a feral bird? Nope. Do I want to fuck with some snakes? Nope. Thanks. Anybody who calls their home their nest? Nope. I'm good, Burn Karen. I'm not gonna deal with that. Anyway. I can't do it again. I don't have the strength. I don't have the strength to do that again. Christ. Oh. I'm not doing it. You can't make me. They've attacked caravans loaded with old goat carcasses before. The smell drives them into a frenzy. This should serve to draw them out of hiding. God damn it, I hate it. He looks like just a nice guy. He looks like the kind of grandpa that never gave up on being a badass. He's not willing to resign. He knows he's getting old, but that doesn't mean he can't still kick ass, you know? Mico, I'll always be grateful for what you did. Those young ones were on the verge of making a terrible mistake, so consumed with anger they were. I hesitated to act, even though I saw it burning within them, as I see it burning within you now. It's okay, though. I got it under control. You seek the darkness within. Call me Riku. That's what... Listen. He's definitely not Folkest, because Folkest was a whole head above me. He was as tall as my ears were, and that's why I loved him. It could be Peast. It's not. It gotta be Paste or Peist, though. Peast, Paste, Paste, Peist. Paste or Peist? God, that would make sense to me, but fuck, what do I know? I didn't name these things. If you're gonna spell their name like that, you're just like sitting there going, no one's ever gonna know how to pronounce this shit. Pasties? I'm gonna call them pasties, because that makes sense to me. It's either that or Paestes. You know? So, I think honestly just pasties. That's a pasty. It makes most sense to me. You can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't. Until I hear someone in voice acting tell me the official pronunciation Okay? It's a heliport. I will not claim to understand your meaning, but I wish you well in your dream. Let's go. How to instantly get the aggro of Rayan. Oh my god, maximum enmity. Let's turn our tank stance on because we just aggroed the fucking raid leader. Oh no. He's so angry. Rayan. This doesn't go anywhere. What am I doing? Oh, damn. Can I just go over here? Nice. No! Please! Oh, don't do this to me. Don't let me go around. Ugh. I still, to this day, hold on, let's just have a talk real quick. To this day, I have not had a comfortable fight with Ramu. It's always been a shit show or a meme fest in which we squish him instantly. I have never had like a satisfying exploration of the fight as intended. Not once in my life. There we go. Like, I don't think I've ever listened to this part. I like getting to hear the boss music every now and then as well, especially once we get to a point that we're not fighting. Like, are we ever going to fight Garuda again? Don't tell me. But, like, there's a very realistic timeline in which we never hear that Garuda theme again unless we go very well out of our way or deliberately go fight her purely for the reason of listening to it. You know, so it's nice to have the horses every now and then that give me those. Give me a chance to hear those great tracks and have a blast of nostalgia when we're an Endwalker looking back. Oh, you remember when I didn't know how to dodge Garuda? There we go. Surprise, it's Meme EX night. Yeah, that's going to be great. I'm excited about that. Ah, they're close. I can feel their eyes upon us. Well, we're here. Show me who you are, Mico. Show me what you can do. I'm waiting. Going back to do the fights just for the music is fair. Is that okay? I figured that would be like an unreasonable thing to do. Because why would you do that? I suppose if you have the horses, you wouldn't really need to do that. You would go back to listen to the music if you wanted the horse, which is basically just a horse that has a boombox. Don't meow at me, bitch. I noticed. I did not get lost. I was exploring. It was, the reason this is weird is that it was like we ran down here to talk to him and then we had to turn around, not go down here. Not that I had that in my pocket? I am used to stuffing a great amount of meat into my pants, so I suppose it's fair. just throw a massive 45 to 50 pound ham shank on the dirt and see what shows up. Ah, the cragbite pasty. Who's just looking at me? Hey, bitch, I saw this first. I suppose just click the button. There we go. Until I get the other one, I guess I am just double tapping that because literally nothing else requires me to have mana. I'm over here. There we go. Did you see that? Do you see that quick use of the unmend? Yeah, did you see that? That's pro tank strats right there. In Path of Exile, if you play the Shadow class, when their inventory's full, they say something, and the Templar would be like, "I am no beast of burden," you know, and then you've got the Shadow who's like, "Oh, I need more pockets." I love that one so much. It's so good. That wasn't so hard now, was it? To mete out justice, to protect the weak from the strong and so forth, you yourself must be strong. Strength is pain. Strength is suffering. Strength is sacrifice. We must prepare for communion, but not here. Come, before more pasties are drawn by this smell. 60-pound block of tofu. Jesus. It's still here, too. That has got to be worth some amount of gil. I'm going to pick it up. Let me have it. Oh, my God. You know what? Become the ham. I've been crushed by my own ham. Damn, dude. This is what happens to your leg after sitting on it all day. That's exactly how that feels. Anyway, fuck's sake. The loss of gil is making me mourn. Yeah, I know. That was incredible marbling there. What is this one? Is this the nightmare? Which horse is this? What the fuck am I riding right now? Pretty sure this is the nightmare horse, right? It's not Titan. No, it's not the Titan one, is it? It could be. Oh, fucking no. That's nightmare? Okay. It doesn't have its own theme. I was like disappointed by it. You look ready. Good. Now listen well. Close your eyes and hold out your hand towards me. Breathe deep through your nose. Let the air fill your lungs, then let it pass from your lips. Slower. Slower. Listen to my voice. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen for the other. We are very used to having to listen to, like, the Echo, listen to Heidelin, listen to, you know, Jormungr, Midgardsormr. You know, we've had to listen to these people talking with us telepathically for a long time now. I'm pretty sure we're going to be very comfortable with that. Oh, Jesus! I just grab his face. I should have been closer to him if I knew he was going to do that. With every breath, you grow lighter and slip further into the abyss. You know how much people pay for that kind of experience? 1 foot in front of the other, over and over again. To the ends of the world and back again. I wonder who my voice is. And if time has no end, still forward and onward, over and over again. There we go, Funkle, that's right. Flag for face mask. That'll be the distance to the goal and automatic first down. For fuck's sake. So, what did you hear? This referee was talking something about a penalty? Interesting, but not terribly informative. Hey, Billin. But do not lose heart. That you were able to hear it once more is progress enough. I believe you will come to understand its words, and its will, in due time. I should mention that, in some instances, the voice is said to be that of another, one whom the Dark Knight is fated to seek out. If that is the case, you may have a long journey ahead of you. Yeah, that's great foreshadowing that there's a sort of climactic encounter with whoever the fuck our voice is. And I wouldn't be surprised if what we're hearing is not what they're trying to tell us, but rather what they're saying in their hearts. And it may very well be that somebody is feeling the weight of the world. It sounds like somebody who is getting very weary, and they're driven by the desire to survive, but that is also a very soulless endeavor, and it's one that I think is probably eating away at them, and it's eroding their will to live. That's what that sounds like. That dialogue sounded like. It's hinting at that kind of character. Somebody who is desperate to survive but doesn't really have much to do outside that, which kind of builds in this circular reasoning. Why are you doing this? To do it. And then what do you get out of that? Doing it. And, you know, what does that give you? Doing it. You know, it's very flat. It's a one-dimensional kind of rotation going on there, and very interesting. I imagine we're going to be not taking that person down. I don't think that voice is going to be an antagonist. I think it's the person we ultimately rescue, but we probably have to do some very questionable shit to do it. We'll see. That's my suspicion based on what's happening. And the reason I think it isn't my voice, that it's somebody, or it's not them talking to me, it's them talking to themselves, is because when I touched his stone, I thought originally it was Frey's voice. Like he was dead and the stone captured sort of his final moments of regret. He sounded very remorseful, regretful. And I think that's lining up with, we touched the stone and we heard our person's voice. But again, I think they were definitely talking about their own regrets. So it definitely sounds like somebody who is lost in a lot of ways, maybe literally lost, flung to a place that cannot be described as home. And I think emotionally they're in a place of being lost as well. So we'll see. But that's what I think we're being set up for from this point. Anyway. I love that animation where he pokes himself. You would welcome such a journey. There's something to be said for it, and for travel for that matter. To roam free and to help those in need. It's actually the reason we came to Eorzea, was this idea that we could just be this kind of free-floating humanitarian supporter. We wanted to come and help. We wanted to come and do something that would make Eorzea better, and I think everything we've done so far has been kind of that noble pursuit. But it's gone very wrong in the process. We've never been able to just go in, straightforward, help out, and be like, fuck yeah, next. Nothing we've ever done has been that simple. And I'm wondering if we're seeing our main character's naivete in coming here thinking that with good intentions that would be enough. You can't just have good intentions. Every time we've engaged with somebody, what we've learned a valuable lesson about how do you really help people. You don't just show up and say, now how can I help? What can I do for you? That doesn't help anybody. Most of the time, the things people really need help with, they don't just need one person to come in and do them a favor, a single favor. The problem they have is usually with some massive obstruction that one person alone will not be able to fix. In most cases, real-world cases, if you go to a hurricane disaster relief effort and you show up and go, what can I do to help? And you're the only person there, you're very limited. Hey, Trails, you're very limited in the effectiveness you can have. If you're one person with a boat, you have resources that allow you to go out and make an effective change. Think about Hurricane Katrina. People who had little rowboats, little whatever boats they had that ended up floating on the water, those became survival rafts. Those became things that they could take around the neighborhoods and rescue people off of the roofs in the neighborhood. That became a very important tool for rescuing other people. Just one person otherwise would have just been a person on a roof, would have just one more person floating around. You can't just be there and be helpful. You have to be there, have resources. We learned that very early in this story. You have to have other people who are willing to help you do that. You have to have a community of people who are invested in helping in the way that you are. That's what the Scions gave us. Every time we've engaged in this big effort to help something, we've realized that there's something else we need to have. When we talked to all the politicians throughout ARR, we were constantly realizing that we didn't just need to have physical power, we need to have influence over people. We had to be able to organize people who are outside our group. That required real influence, that required real power in politics. We realized that that is necessary as well. Good intentions are useless if you do not have the tools with which to implement your good intentions. What we're learning now is that true power and independence, your willingness to supersede the status quo, to go outside the, there's a specific term, to go outside the designated channels is often the best way to cut through the bureaucracy that can very routinely slow down the path to justice, the path to success. Now, there are a lot of downsides to that. Vigilanteism isn't necessarily the right thing to do. It isn't necessarily the best thing to do, not even morally. Strategically, it may not be the best outcome for all those involved. And especially because if you take it upon yourself, and this is a big problem and a big conversation that's being had in America with the police force, is that if you are able to, as an arbiter of justice, if you are also able to skip steps in that justice process, if I, as the Dark Knight, am skipping an arrest, skipping a trial, and I'm just fucking executing somebody because I think they need it, that's an extrajudicial killing. And that is a lot of burden of responsibility on the person doing that. They have to really be sure that the person was beyond being arrestable, capable of being arrested. They were not going to be arrested. It was not possible. That they were such a threat that their immediate death was warranted, and then you were so confident in that that you did not get any other input before you decided to take their life. All of those things had to be like super solid Sharpie checked off before you could actually go in and do the act of your extrajudicial killing. So it's a very, and it's, there's a long history of there not being a court of law, there not being a legal process to dispensing that kind of justice. There's a long series of events in human history before the modern understanding of a police force, a judicial system. Not to mention unrehabilitable. What a name! That's right, that there is no redeeming, there is no, and that was the fourth part. I forgot about that as I was going through, but you're absolutely right, that there is no other possible solution. The only answer remaining, we have exhausted every possible reaction. We have exhausted every possible strategy and tactic. We have resorted to every possible thing and exhausted all of them with failure. The only thing that remains is to kill them. But even then, to make all of those assessments on the spot in an instant, and that's just your go-to potentially, that's real fucking dangerous. That is a lot of power for one person who's gone through 6 weeks of training to be able to have the power to do. And then to be protected by the system when they get it wrong. Makes it very easy for them to just pull the trigger and ask questions later. So any Dark Knight is going to be in a similar position, I think, to having a kind of unbelievably large burden of responsibility. And I think it's something that Frey has actually mentioned. Not explicitly, but he's talked about that there's a burden that comes with that power. You know, great power comes with great responsibility. That's exactly what we're looking at here. Yeah, on the spot being a crucial factor. You've got to make an instantaneous decision. And when you are threatened, when you feel threatened like that, you're going to fall back on an instinct. You're going to fall back on whatever you believe to be the most likely surefire way to stop the problem from progressing. And if the only tool in your tool belt is a fucking 9mm, that's probably going to be what you go to pretty quickly if your training is insufficient. If you don't have a broad set of tools, you're just going to go to whatever is the most likely to solve the problem with the least amount of effort, and that is almost always going to be your weapon. If you are not trained and not experienced enough to understand that there is such a broad spectrum of opportunity there to solve that problem, very few things should ever require lethal force, if anything, and I definitely think that the storyline here may be poking at some of that. Most reliable option, I think that's exactly the wording I would use, Snackback. But anyway, not to get too political, but there are a lot of overlaps with the ethics being discussed here and the concept of a Dark Knight as a vigilante, which is also described a lot of times as within the Batman universe as well, which is very similar. And so it's very interesting to me to see that Final Fantasy is now going to go through and start exploring this ethical dilemma, because it is a dilemma. Do we want there to be people who have the power to do extrajudicial killings? You know, do we want that to be a thing? Do we want there to be people who can go outside the system and make their own decision? Like, how much trust would we have for that person in order to sleep at night knowing that if we piss them off, they will take it upon themselves to erase us? I think most societies would look at that and go, that's more of a threat than a resource. So it's very interesting, but there is also a virtuous side to it that says some things cannot be handled by a bureaucratic system, and a due process may protect some people than the others, because any process can become corrupted. And are we the last line of defense when the system fails? There are some valid arguments to vigilantism. And in Final Fantasy's universe, where things seem to be gentler, in the real world, the system seems to take precedence over all things. You follow the system. Stepping out of lines of the system is itself one of the biggest problems you can have, or be, or cause, or become. In Final Fantasy, there is a lot of... There's not like this monolithic bureaucracy that runs over everything, for the most part. Everything has kind of been individualistic, and the rules are localized, and there are laws, but they're carried out by a militia. There isn't a separate police force from the military for the most part, which is interesting, because then all enforcement happens by the military. It becomes a militarized populace. Where we do see this overbearing, overarching policy structure is probably in Ishgard. Yeah. So it seems very interesting that in the Final Fantasy universe, I think there's a lot more of this gray, I wouldn't even say gray space. There's a much larger gap between the need for regulators of justice versus the people responsible for maintaining the peace. And those are two very different things. The people who are maintaining peace and enforcing justice that do both of those are the military people, but usually those are jobs that should be seen as separate things. Like, in the perfect world, here's what I would do. This is what I would do, okay? Not that I think you should do this. This is what I would do. I would have a completely separate entity that there are the sort of first responders for emergencies that are not fire, not medical. And that becomes a blanket concept. It's not fire, it's not medical. It includes some threat to safety, whether that is a car accident, a car accident, there's a break-in at a house, some number of things are happening on. It is not a fire, it is not medical. It may include those, but there is an element that is not those two things, the police are called. And the police are only there as first responders to establish a perimeter, contain the problem. That is literally their job, that's it. And if they find that there is a violent threat, they escalate. They continue to contain as best they can, but they escalate that to what is the SWAT team, whatever you want to call it, that then becomes the potentially lethal force response to violent resistance. And those people go in as very well-trained, elite, like sub-military, but with a lot of military training, to be able to go in and very responsibly make decisions there, where their first goal is never lethal control, but rather to contain the problem. And ideally, they're even armed with social workers and non-militarized social workers, negotiators who are trained and specialized with experience, to be able to go in and potentially diffuse a situation where lethal force is used only if required, but at the end of a very long due process, right? That to me would make sense. Comparing it to Eorzea, where if something goes wrong, the guard comes and scoops you and you go and live in a cell, and then you may fucking never come out of there, and who knows what's happening to you in the process, right? Things are very squishy in Eorzea. The concept of a Dark Knight, I think, is the response to political corruption seeping into the judicial system. Vigilantism really kind of is the purifying flame, if you will. That yes, they're heretics, but that's only because they're at odds with the judicial system. They only exist because of the inherent corruption of those responsible for maintaining the judicial system. So it's very interesting, the ethics that are being described here, right? Yeah, we'll see. I'm very interested to see how they dig into this. But that's some of the real world context, what we would call the occasion. The way the world is today influences our perception of the media. That is what occasion means. The occasion itself is the real world events that influence our perception. It's sort of our biases to receiving this piece of art. This will look very different in 50 years, and would have looked very different 50 years ago if we had seen this exact story play out, because the current events influence our ability to receive this in a certain way. So that's why we're talking sometimes about real world events, and sometimes we are going to discuss the nature of some politics, which you just need to get used to and be an adult and understand. Not that you guys aren't, but for anybody listening, we need to be able to discuss politics, real world events, current events, problems in the world, potentially, without politicizing them necessarily, but being able to understand that they do have an impact on our analysis, to understand them and acknowledge any biases that may be there, as well as any parallels, because in many cases, media is designed as a commentary about the world around us, as much as the world around us affects our ability to perceive it, and that's why we can make those connections. I thought about this thing that happened in the world, so I wrote this. You read this thing, and you also thought about this thing that happened to the world, so now we've got two connections. And that creates a really deep conversation between the creator and the recipient of that narrative. And that's what really we go for when we have the societal media, like we do here with things like video games. Anything, when it's released, there is a conversation that is being had between the creator and the recipient. That happens through the medium that has been created. The creation and the reception of that is the bridge between the two people, ultimately, who are having an unspoken conversation through the story. And it's something that's really complex to describe to people if they don't already understand what that means. It's really hard to explain how that means, but hopefully that's sufficient. But that's why sometimes we're going to dig into politics. And for those of you who are here through ARR, we have dug into a whole lot of politics in the past. And again, not with the purpose of politicizing or getting on a soapbox, so to speak, but to analyze what's going on in here as a reflection of what we see in the real world, because they are not isolated from each other. And if you're thinking, it's a video game, it's not that deep. It is. You just can't see that deep. That's the difference. That's right. That's right, Sram. It's it requires so much, whether real or fictional. The task, the challenge is still the same, right? Who is overseeing the Dark Knights? There doesn't seem to be a collection of them. It's not a guild. It's not an organization. It's one of the only jobs we've seen that is not inherently tied to a body of governance of any kind. Truly a guild of freelancers that are bound by no common cause. Only a common methodology through which they dig into their darkness in order to do whatever the fuck they want. If the wrong person becomes a Dark Knight, yeah, that's a big problem. But you also think the other Dark Knights will take them down. Not because we have to defend the name of the Dark Knight, but rather because, yeah, I think they're a fucking problem. We need to get rid of them while we can. But it comes down to the individual deciding what they want to do. It's a mercenary squad in that way. And not all of the same squad. But rather, it's a bunch of individual mercenaries, freelancers, all just going about the world doing whatever they feel they need to do, driven by the edgiest of narrative hooks I've ever seen. Yeah. But there are people that have a sort of knee-jerk reaction to anytime you mention anything in the real world, especially if it's political, especially if it can be inflammatory. There is a sort of knee-jerk reaction in some people that they want to play a video game to get away from that. They don't want to talk about that when they're looking at a video game. To me, you can't escape it. You can't escape it. Stop trying. Just be an adult. Get comfortable with those conversations because they matter, and they're in the world around you, and they influence you even if you stick your head in the sand. You can't get away from it. Stop trying. And it's very much relative. And I mean, until you're living in a little vacuum that doesn't exist with like no social interactions ever, you're not going to be able to get away from that shit. Just deal with it. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be uncomfortable to learn and grow. I know, that's exactly right. And if we avoid certain politics and discussing them because they make other people uncomfortable, all we're doing is coddling them, and we're encouraging them to stay uncomfortable with it, rather than giving them safe exposure to something that would allow them to potentially become comfortable with it. If all we do is go, oh, that's okay, baby, we're not gonna talk about the thing that makes you sweat. Maybe you need to sweat. Maybe you need to sweat for a minute. So that's all I'm going to say on that for those of you who are starting with Heavensward, so you understand. Leads to willful ignorance. That's exactly right, Swarm. And I don't want to support that. I am all about becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. If something makes you uncomfortable, is all the more reason that you need to sit with it and think about why it makes you uncomfortable. You think about that. Why does it make you uncomfortable? That's what therapy does, by the way. That's what therapy does. It makes you sit with uncomfortable things until you're no longer afraid of them. That's literally the core of therapy. And I think video games, like, yes, I think you're exactly right. Video games, books, these are great times in controlled media where the narrative can be manufactured and curated to tell a specific story in a specific way, where there's some trust that it's going to come full circle. There's some faith that what's going to be said is fair and honest, depending on the writers. But once you start to get a trust for that, there is a great opportunity for us to explore the hypothetical, to explore a fictional version of some very real things. For those of you that know anything about Titans, you know that is the very core of what I'm attempting to do with my narrative, is to talk about very uncomfortable things that everybody is uncomfortable with, but do it in a way that you don't even know you're talking about it until the very end and it clicks and you go, oh shit. But you've already engaged it emotionally, you've already engaged it ethically without realizing that you had been doing that the entire way through. Very deep metaphors that at the very end become very clear. And then this whole time I've led you into really dealing with like the essence of systemic racism, but never once said those terms and never will. But you're going to deal with it and you're going to feel it. And then you're going to understand it because you've experienced it, because you didn't put your walls up, because you didn't know what it was. It's a Trojan horse of social justice. It works very well. The people I've tested it on, a few people I've tested it on, it's worked very well. And done in a grand scale, I think it's going to be incredibly effective. Compelling narratives that also do a little bit of work in the world, I think that's nice. So, anyway, that's it. Let's play the video games. There we go. Yet no good deed goes unpunished, does it? Yeah, and this is what he's referring to. Everyone's going to have problems with a vigilante because they're afraid of the amount of power. Somebody who is not shackled by the ethics of or the culture in which they live is an other, and when they pose a legitimate danger to somebody, they can pose a legitimate danger to anybody. Because there's no faith that they're being regulated, it makes it almost impossible to have a healthy or comfortable relationship with these vigilantes. There we go. And so it becomes interesting that no matter what, even if we do good, the people may still see us as bad because of our methodology, because of the fact that we're extrajudicial. Yeah. Here we go. I knew a man once, wanted to be a hero, do great things, and so he did. The song always ends there, but life doesn't, does it? There are temptations more deadly than the dark side, Mico. You should have learned this by now, but you haven't. You will. The communion is ended, and with it, our time together. But we shall meet again, as we did before. Yeah, I think the temptation is that I can just go out and just like, fuck it, I know who the bad guys are. Let's just go bam, 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 fuck them. They're all dead. One of the games I'm writing is all about that exact dilemma. When you get so powerful that you can solve all the world's problems, you can't actually just go out and fucking do it. Because it just leads to power vacuums that end up causing more problems. And the whole game is about exploring that. You're given an unfathomable freedom and power, and what do you do with it? You go try and solve all the world's problems, but every time you put a fire out, some other fucker walks up and lights it again, and then you're just like, ah! And no one ever stops you from putting those fires out. No matter how many victories you have, you will never make ground on it. And it's designed to wear you down to the point that you don't even want to try anymore. You're done solving the world's problems because you can't. All you do is flip the coin over, and then you just gotta flip it again and flip it again. You're just flipping a fucking coin all day. And it's to me, I think, is going to be a compelling narrative experience because it's the exact opposite of all the heroes' journeys, where eventually you beat the bad guy and that's the end of the story. Because in the real world, whenever you beat the bad guy, that is never the end of the story. It's the beginning of the next one. And rather than it being like the Dragon Ball Z saga, where it's the next one because some random other bad guy shows up out of nowhere, they showed up because you cleared the path for them. Every new threat that arrives is the consequences of your eliminating the previous threat. And the game only stops when you give up. Ta-da! That's it. And at any point, you can go to your bad guy former mentor and be like, you know what? You were fucking right. You were right, and I hate it, but you were right. And then you just go resume what you were doing before you rebelled. I can't wait, man. It's gonna be fucking great. It's gonna be great once I get to fully develop it. Oh, I can't wait, man. All right, what was I doing? Hey, we need to go back to Ishgard. That's the kind of story I like to tell. Completely fuck with the meta. Point out how all these other stories are complete horse shit. There we go. Not for any reason other than I just, you know, I see those as being more complex. And I think that we should tell more complex stories. I think people are ready for more complex narratives. I think good literature challenges the expectations. You should set a new precedence. You should attempt to set a new precedence. What is that guy's... Oh, I thought his clan tag was just ass, and I was impressed that he was allowed to do that. Okay, we don't need to go anywhere. It's right over here. Pretty sure. Heroic respite. Yeah, it's right over here. We may just be getting through the Dark Knight class quest tonight. Given the pace. Because this is the level 45 one. We may not even do MSQ tonight. There we go. Yeah, this is the 40. I got one more after this. Holy shit. Okay, Edge of Darkness. I know that one. Nice. Phrase pleased to see you, as always. You look well, Mico. More determined. You've not heard the voice since we last spoke. I know. But don't worry. No, but worry not. If your affinity with your dark side is as strong as I believe, then the communion is all you require. Come with me to the burning wall. You know what you must do. And I appreciate that we have a community here, small as it is, that we can talk about these things. We can have these conversations, and you know, it doesn't turn toxic. I think it's only because we are a smaller community that we're able to do that. I'm gonna appreciate it while it lasts. Although I don't have any aspirations of growing my channel anymore. It's just kind of whatever it does at this point. It's a hobby. I don't give a shit. There we go. Okay, so let me go off to the burning wall. I'm going to take a wild guess as to where this is. Is it Gridania? Or is it Lenosha? Oh, God. I feel like it's Lenosha. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's not Wineport. It's not Casa del Sol. The Moraby Dry Docks, no. Swift Perch. Ailport. YOLO, I'm picking this one. I don't feel like it's... It's not out of Lenosha. I know it's not this one. What? Why did I come this way? I know this isn't it. Fuck. God, okay, try again. Try again. I'm feeling like it's in here now. Forward float. Let's try this one. Is this it? No, tree speak. Fuck's sake. I know it's off on the right somewhere in the map, but I just can't remember. Here, I can try again. How many times can I do this before somebody goes, ah, fuck it. Mico, it's here. How patient are you guys? Horizon? No. Blackbrush Station. No. Tribal. No, because the only thing over there is Ald Goats. Little Alamigo, no. I feel like it was in a grassy location. It's got to be over here somewhere. Camp Tranquil? No, it's not here. I guarantee it's not there. It's not in Lenosha. If it is, I'm going to be sad. I don't think it's over there. It's not Hawthorne Hut. That's too early. This is Camp Tranquil, isn't it? No, this is Thalgord Float. Camp Tranquil. Chad, I'm trying. No, this is definitely... What? No. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna try somewhere here. Forgotten Springs. Let's try that. I feel like it's an early game area, though. Hold on, maybe it is Lenosha. Yeah, no, I knew it wasn't here. I knew it wasn't here. What am I doing? I knew for a fact it wasn't here. I even went through Little on the Migo and I was like, no, it's not that one that I click on. I click on this shit. Okay, I'm gonna go. No, not this one. Not this one. Swift perch. No, surely not. No. Because this is, yeah, this is Aleport. Why are they so close to each other? This is bizarre. Camp Bronze Lake isn't it. It's definitely Gridania then. Is it? It might be. It's not Camp Blue Fog. That's up. That's northern Thanalan. It's not there. Western Lenosha? No, because that's where we are. Let's try the Moravi Dry Docks. There we go. Hey, Chicken Hawked. We're in the middle of the Dark Knight quest line. We're doing the level 40 job quest right now, and I'm trying to remember where the Burning Wall is. It's definitely in Thanalan. It has to be. I'm sure of it. Camp Drybone. I've done this one, right? Let's try Blackbrush Station. You think it's in southern Thanalan? Oh, perhaps it is. Everyone else is watching me suffer, by the way. Everyone. Nope. That's not it. Central. Looking for the Burning Wall. Western Thanalan. No, we knew it wasn't there. Okay, so listen. Let's try somewhere in Gridania. I'm gonna do, it's not there. No way. No way in hell is it there. Quarry Mill? It's not in Quarry Mill. Should we tell him the secret? Oh no. God. I feel like I would have... Hello? I feel like I would have found it by now. No, I've been here before. Okay, I give up. I can click the thing. I know I can, but... I know I can. But I thought I could get there myself. For once, I didn't want to have to rely on being told. And yet here we are. I've reached the end of my rope and no answers. I've clicked on half these fucking things and none of them have led where I thought they did. You know what? I give up. Where are you? I knew it was Thanalan. What was this? Camp Drybone. I went there. Did I not? Is that the one I didn't click? I kept hovering over it thinking it might be dry. No, that's all the owl goats are there. Fuck off. It was the one I kept hovering over but never clicked on. Fuck off. Hey panda. Hello, big old panda. And the near 400 hours I think it took us to get through ARR, you'd think I'd know where any of this stuff was. Any of it. But no. Yeah. Sram, let me tell you something, my friend. I fucking love sarcasm. You will never have to do a sarcasm tag with me. There we go. Unless it's very dry, in which case you're like, am I being sarcastic? Am I? In which case, give me a sarcasm tag, but don't fear that. There we go. I'm not that kind of... I'm not like other streamers. There we go. I turned my head to look around the corner. What is this? I'm sure this is a path to where I'm going. Is it the path I should be taking? God knows. They haven't stopped me yet, though, so... Is this the... This is the... Theme... Hello? God damn it, dude. Is it up here? It's below me. Ah, hello. I have found my husband. There we go. Perfect. Lean to the side to more effectively dodge dive bombs. Have we told Panda this? There we go. It begins, as always, with blood, a confirmation of your identity. There are axe beaks here which have grown ferocious beyond reckoning. Vile creatures, eager to prey on the man and beast alike. Offer yourself to them. They will come. Then make an offering of them to me. I love Frey. It's so fun to read his dialogue. Yeah, I'm really excited about Savage content. I can't wait to get back to it. Next raid night's going to be great, man. No dive bombs in Savage? I'm terribly disappointed. The fuck is this button? Oh, blood weapon. I need that. That's my give my mana back to me. Oh, shit. I should be fighting, shouldn't I? Hold on. I've got my my button. This is great. Woo! Also some thunder outside. This is nice. Okay, I think I've pushed the buttons. I've got myself 60 seconds of blood. Which is great. Now we just AoE until these... Hello? Tab targeting, please. Here we go. That's right, Panda. Now that you've mastered the dive bomb, they took them out. They were only there to stop you from progressing past T13 alive. There we go. Ah, now that is the Mico I long to see. Oh, dude, he's flirting with us. Hell yeah. You resent this, don't you? This pointless trial. Perhaps you even resent me for subjecting you to it. I was just thinking this is stupid and not worth our time. Remember this feeling. Treasure it. I want it smoldering within you when we commune in Camp Drybone. There we go. Just as my blood runs out. Teleport. Map's open, dumbass. There we go. Do this. Yeah, I'm excited to shout out to Smuggler McWeed of Smoke Clan and Zesty Tater. These are fantastic names. Very nice. Fantastic names. We are going to talk to Mr. Frey over here. I'm so excited that we've been able to warp in the character roleplay lore into everything we've done so far. Nothing we've done has not been backed by character development, and that's just fucking great. I've just got to stagger it out because I don't want to have all this development happen in Heavensward. I want to make sure it lasts for the rest of the expansions. Great. It's just fantastic. Close your eyes and hold out your hand towards me. Breathe deep through your nose. Let the air fill your lungs and let it pass from your lips. Slower. Slower. Listen to my voice. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen for the other. Oh shit, they're talking. No, they are talking to me. They know. I think they're talking from the dead, and I think it's Folkest, my first husband, whom died mysteriously and left me his will. I think the 12, it is you. It's Talev, dude. It's Talev. Mico. It's Talev. Oh no, it's a real man. Okay, I thought so. Jesus. This would have been so much better if as soon as that thing came out, they looked off to the left. It would have told me. I couldn't tell if it was, because this is a sudden change from the voice that we've had before, right? Where I'm listening to someone else's inner thoughts and feelings and what's in their heart, as opposed to this who's like, hey, Mico! Just from the well. Isambard, remember? It must have been ages since we last spoke. To think that you would end up slaying the Lord of the Inferno. When you first came to look... What? When you first came through looking for our missing common folk, I took you for a... but this isn't the time to reminisce. I sought you out because I need your help. Phrase just like, could this happen later? There we go. Do tell. Not long ago, an Amalja raiding party attacked a caravan on the road and abducted several pilgrims. We reported the incident to both the Brass Blades and the Immortal Flames, but it seems neither is in a position to muster forces at present. I wonder why! Could it be the death of the Sultana? Don't believe the lies you've heard, Isambard. It wasn't me. There we go. You know what lies in store should they not be rescued soon. Please, Mico, there's no one else. I'll do it. Why the fuck not? Really? Charge into an enemy encampment filled with Amalja warriors and free some fools who should have armed themselves. Risk life and limb to do the work of a dozen men, all because you bloody asked. Is that it? That's what we do. I love that line. That's great. But that's what we do, isn't it? Every goddamn time. Fine. We'll bring them back. I thank you for... They were bound for the encampment to the southeast. So, oh, then so are we. God, I love reading for Frey. I'm gonna be so sad when these quests are over. I don't get to read his dialogue anymore, man. There's a reason I put this guy in my demo, is that it's just fucking fun to read his voice. His lines. Alright, do I require the aid of my trusty chocobo? I mean my freeze horse? There we go. This track reminds me of Final Fantasy 15 so much. It feels like it should have been playing on the radio as you're just driving through the wilderness, deciding which hamburger you want to eat next. Ah, yes, this is where I met Thencred that one time. Hopefully you turn out better. Anyway. The nerve of some people. After all you do for them. Oh, he's talking about me. He doesn't like that we took this job, apparently. They're inside, just as Isambard said. Mere moments away from being tempered, I'm sure. Well, what are you waiting for? It's time to play the hero. Oh. Gorehorde Lancer, nice. I was wondering if we were just gonna punch the ones I knew about, or if... Come here! I am not satisfied with merely... Oh shit, he's fucking dead, dude. Did you just kill him? You're some bitch magician? This isn't why I married you. I thought you brought that thing out just as a walking stick. You really gonna be like a black mage after all we've been through? This isn't who I fucking married. Whatever, we'll talk about this later. Come here. I hope you know I'm gonna say that every single time I use that skill. It is what goes through my head. It is the name of that skill. Honestly, hold on. I have important work to do. What is this called? Unmend. Nope, it's got to be spelled right. C-M-E-R-E. Come here. Okay. Is that right? Yep. Okay. Now that I know how macros work, we're going to have some fun here. Invalid target. Oh, we don't want to just do unmend. We want to do targeting. Also, no, hold on. Edit macro. Perfect. Can you just /say? Does that work? Did I use some Black Mage shade? No, Black Mages are wonderful, but I didn't marry one. I married a Dark Knight. Okay, the man I took to the chapel was a Dark Knight, not you. Although if you're going to be some other class, it might as well be something dark like a Black Mage. It's not like he picked a Fuchsia Pink Mage or anything, you know, but still. I didn't expect my husband to dual class after all this. I have plenty of extra... like, Zweihanders you can use. You don't have to use a goddamn walking stick. You're embarrassing me. I feel like we have that kind of relationship, you know? We can say that to each other. Which is the only kind of relationship I want to have. Also, their level's hidden. I'm going to assume it's level 90. In which case, I'm wondering why they were captured to begin with. Oh shit, Lancers? These kids are in trouble. You can't fight a crime if you ain't cute. Now that's going to be the slogan of my police department. Absolutely. You were 100% right. If you're not cute, what the fuck are you even doing? What skill am I even trying to use? I don't remember. I'm just pushing buttons. That's fine. Typical Dark Knight. He is coming in to defend the Fuchsia Mage. I'm hoping that's what gets added in the next patch. They pick some random ass, you know, cornflower blue mage. Seafoam green mage. That would be great. Periwinkle mage. That would make me happy. Jesus. Level 90s, you don't even have glams on. What's wrong with you? Do you even know what fashion is? Has nobody told you how to make a glam plate? You poor fucking bastards. Come on. Waiting on you. Srom is like unfollowed, reported. Here we go. Come here. Every time. I can't stop. It's a reflex. I can't stop myself from saying it. I just want you to know that. You've signed up for the hellhole that is my stream by this point. You're still here. Okay, I'm not even going to worry about getting the Gorehorde Battle Drake. I want this guy to die first. There we go. No, fuck you. I'm not moving. Best way to dodge AoE is kill the dude who spawned it. Nice. All right, Frey, what do we got? I feel like he's the angsty husband and I'm the sassy husband that wears pink. And then, like, we go to dinner together and he's all black and neutrals and I just show up and he just does this. And he's like, yeah, that's my man. I feel like that's exactly how that goes. We come in and give him a hug. The relationship between Urianger and Moon Burrito, that's what we've got. You'd have choice words, but you're in a dungeon in game right now. You had enough words to tell me that, bitch. Ah! I want to learn Black Mage eventually. In all seriousness, I think it'd be a lot of fun. The only thing I know I'm probably not going to like about it is that I was raised as a bard from a young age. And so therefore, I only understand two things. Keep moving and Peloton. That's it. I'm not very good at the Peloton. But it would be a lot of fun to... I want to learn every class eventually. I'm not saying I'm going to get good with every class, but I will know what the buttons do. At least for a while. I'll forget about it if I don't look at it for a week. But the concept of Black Mage is something that does a whole lot of damage, which is good. Hey, Enema of my enemy. What a great name. That is the best name I've read this week. I want you to know that. Congratulations. Red Mage is your favorite. I've been told I would enjoy Red Mage because I really like the classes that are mobile. I like classes that are able to move and attack, especially if they're at range. So I'm very partial to Bard. I'm training Machinist right now, and I'm really going to enjoy that. I think I've enjoyed what I've had so far because it plays basically like Bard. And then I think I'm also going to enjoy Dancer in the next expansion when I unlock it. I know I can unlock it now. I'm just choosing not to because if it starts at level 60, I'm going to wait until the next expansion to touch it. I'm going to get all the classes that I intend to play eventually up to level 60 by the end of Heavensward, but it's going to take me a minute to get there. But yeah, Red Mage I've been told I would enjoy a lot. Machinist I've been told I would enjoy, and I really am enjoying it. Dragoon I'm enjoying because it's fucking chaos. You're just jumping all over the place all the time. There we go. There we go. Okay, listen, I have not seen Twitch user stuff my butt with dicks. That may actually be a better name than Enema of my enemy. I'm sorry, Mr. Enema. You might have been upstaged by stuff my butt with dicks. Which is also the ringtone I have for when Mr. Frey calls me. And is the first thing he ever said to me, actually, is why I knew I was going to marry him. Anyway. He laughs? Hello? I didn't know he could laugh. You'll live. Hey, you're number 2. That's fine. It's like being the sister wife, but you know you're not the main one. Totally fine. You're still his wife. You will always be the second brownie out of the pan. There we go. You'll always be the leftovers to that great meal you had. Aw, that's so sad. God, those are the kinds of insults that they don't hurt immediately, but like the more you think about it, it just sticks with you, and then you, like if someone said that shit to me, that would ruin me for a week. That would ruin me. It would erode away at my ego until I had no more strength than a fucking hamster. There we go. Oftentimes the leftovers are better, but only in secret. They're lower class, but higher fun. And a lot of things actually fit that description. Like Murgo. Y'all don't know Murgo yet. You'll find out. Everyone knows Murgo. You just haven't met him yet. Anyway, just don't know when to leave off, did they? Neither did you, though, eh? I mean, look at yourself. Most of that's not even your blood. Oh shit, did I get this dirty? I just put this on. Come on. Leave it. You've nothing to be ashamed of. Let's go and give Isambard the good news. Fucking Murgo. That's right. That's his first name. We call him by his middle name, which is Murgo. His last name is Chaos. So it's fucking Murgo Chaos. That's his full name. Shout out to Sunrises. What a cute name. All right. On your Nimbus. Delicious. All right. Where the fuck am I going? Over here. I knew where I was going, but I forgot what it was called, so I had to look at it again. On to the next step of your Heavensward relic. Nice. I would like to think that we would have enough time at the end of Heavensward to be able to do a relic, just because I think relics are fucking rad. But oh, for those of you who are new, okay, so here's what we did at the end of ARR. I'm proud of this, so I'm going to show it off a bit more. We went through all the Coils of Bahamut. We did all of the raid content after ARR as we were going through the post-game patches, post-MSQ patches. And we were getting to the last series of long cutscenes, the finale of 2.55, the banquet ceremony, and all the escape that happens after that. I didn't know any of that was coming, of course, but I said, we got to dress up for the banquet. So we put together a formal Bard Glam that will, for this to the end of the game, be my Bard Glam. And it's the High Allegan set that we dyed ice blue, not ice blue, but ink blue. And we actually only made a relic because I wanted to find a bow glam that would match the High Allegan set. And it turned out to be the Yuichi Bow Zeta, the last tier of ARR relic. So we went through that. Everyone in chat's like, shut the fuck up and show us here. Very nice. If I do say so myself. High Allegan set, ink blue. Very, very good. With the Yoichi Bow Zeta. Oh, I'm very happy with it. We did all of those cutscenes like this. Had a great time with it too. I've got other glams because I'm a fashion slut. On top of many other forms of slut, but especially for fashion. So. My Dark Knight's only level 46. I can't get cuter than this, but honestly, it feels pretty good. A whole bunch of us in the community started going through and doing relics in ARR too. People are like, I ain't gonna do a relic, and then they see me doing it, and like, maybe I'll do a relic. Yeah, that's good. There you go. Praise me. Fuck you, chat. Praise me. That's what you do when a streamer shows you something so fucking cool. You praise them. Feel free to worship the ground I walk on while you're there. God damn. I shouldn't have to train you to do this. Twitch has been around for like 10 years. Come on, get with the program. Damn. Anyway, I don't know if we're gonna have time to do relics at the end of ARR because we're gonna have a lot more Savage content to get through, which I'm excited to do. But I don't know if it depends on how much time we have, depending on how long it takes us to get through the Savage content. That's stuff I need to talk to Rihanna about. By the way, for those of you who are joining tonight, make sure you come to the Discord and join us. If you're looking for a group of players that you'd like to hang out with in-game, then our Discords, you could do worse. You could do worse. You're rocking the Moogle suit? Nice, dude. We're never going to judge you for buying glam. The urge is always there to improve your fashion. Hello, cat bitch. How you doing? The tiniest dragon. You think Midgard Solmer right here? Oh, gee, she's gonna deck me. What I mean is the largest cat bitch I've ever seen. Massive, huge. There we go, see? We have appeased her. Tufts McGee. Very nice. Yeah, why would we ever judge people for having great taste in glams? We just celebrate you. There we go. I spent an hour and a half in front of the market board today just looking for glams that I think I might use in the future. Fern? Hello? It literally Fern. Actually, this looks a lot like Merlwood, but this is Fern. This is adorable. Any Femro is just automatically Fern. Fern Rose. Here we go. Anyway, let's click on the things. Yeah, we've got organized raid nights, which you can sign up to participate in. We've got casual raid nights, which are going to be Sunday and Saturday every week. Not this one, but the one after. We're going to be doing Savage T9, I believe, is the plan, which is great. We had a bunch of fun during the Coils of Bahamut, and I absolutely have the hardcore raid bug. Absolutely loved it. I never had more fun in a video game, honestly, than I did with doing T13 Bahamut, and I've been told it only gets better from there. So that's great. Hello, Smuggler McWeed again. Good to see. He's even got the sideburns. He's got the mutton chops of a man who doses in weed more than he does food. Excellent. Savage T6 through... I thought it was only T9. It's T6 through T9. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm excited there. Okay, that's great. That's so much more than I thought we had. That's like finding an extra enchilada in the pile of rice. Like, holy shit. Got a whole 4 to do. Oh, I'm very excited. Welcome back, Mico. I heard you really gave those a Malja. What for? Good show. I'm sure you're eager to be on your way, so I won't waste any more of your time, but thank you. Come back whenever you like. Why is he so fucking dodgy? Are you hiding something? Eisenbard. Also, hello. Every time I see this thing, I just think of Rian going, "Ee!" in the distance, and that's exactly what I hear. So that's pretty good. Did that include the Towers one? I don't remember the Towers one. Panda has immediate regret. Oh no, it's gonna be great going through all that stuff again. Don't worry. Don't be sad. As long as we don't have to do dive bombs, we're fine. There we go. Okay, where the fuck am I going? I am going back to Frey, who is actually downstairs. Directionally challenged. Welcome back, Fern. Good to see you. Oh, you got some wiggles. Hell yeah, man. I could go for some. For those who have never faced death, those who have never faced death do not scruple to condemn others to it. They know nothing of true sacrifice and are weak for their ignorance. I wonder, this is like, he's becoming almost judgmental in this, right? I wonder if there's a potential that Frey becomes my final enemy, or we find out that he has done some great wrong that we now have to become the one to right. Because there's always the archetype of the mentor becoming evil. Usually mentor characters die or become evil. Not always the case. Especially in the case of a tutorial NPC in a video game, we see that a lot less. You know, it's maybe like 30% of the time they're not evil and don't die. But like there's a good like 35, 35, and then 30. They die, they're evil and die, or they are just there, and that's it. Video games, you get that third category, but almost always, if it's like in a book or a movie or something, the mentor dies. Ta-da, that's it. That's what their archetype does. But I'm wondering if they're setting him up to be kind of a zealot. But I also think you have to be kind of a zealot to make Dark Knight work. Just the concept of it. You have to become overwhelmed with rage to be able to make this thing function. You have to dig into your own inherent evil. You know, so I think there's always going to be this flirting with the dark side, ethically. So we'll see. In sacrifice, there is strength. In sacrifice, there is liberation. Close your eyes and hold out your hand towards me. Breathe deep through your nose. Let the air fill your lungs. Then let it pass from your lips. Slower, slower. You have to have gone to at least 2 Linkin Park concerts and sang along. But you're only allowed to remember the first half of both. There we go. Oh no, just stop. Interrupted. Hold on. Now I know what to do. I must. 1, we give our husband I have to appreciate him because I know he's going to disappear eventually. Nope, too far. Too close. I'm determined at least once. Nope. It's gonna happen. No. I need to go like right here. Let's try this. Just so close. Nope, and it's off. You know when we do that, it's off. I need to turn a little bit. No, he turns anyway. It's never gonna be perfect. I could get my hand on his shoulder though. Let's do that. Ah, there we go. No, don't do that. Don't turn on the garbage disposal. I dropped a chopstick down there. With every breath you grow lighter and slip further into the abyss. On a throne of bone he waits. Serve, save, slave, slay. They come to entreat his judgment. Serve, save, slave, slay. One by one, in solemn procession. We're getting more hints about what happens. Throne of Bone sounds like a necromancer. He's enthralling a lot of people. I wonder if we're going to be dealing with some kind of primal. That may be kind of what I'm sounding here. Sounds good. You want to give me poetics? You got some. I'll take them, Sram. I need to be getting a. I need to get an ironwork set for a lot of classes, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know if I really need the ironwork set, because if I just level them to like 55 or 60, then I just go get some of that shit, you know? We'll see. I don't know. Your fortune cookie said, buy more Chinese food or else. Did the cookie have a gun? You can't trade them. That's sad. I would give you 69 gil per poetic. I think that's a good rate. So, what did you hear this time? And there I was thinking you were on the verge of discerning the truth. Your affinity with your darkness grows stronger by the day, and yet there's a hesitation. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to find that we are still kind of keeping one foot on the side of conservative relationship with, like, we're not a friend of the darkness, we're just an acquaintance. You know, we're not in a relationship, we're just roommates, and we're very cuddly, you know? That kind of thing. When I was a... Oh, God, Funkle. Funkle says, when I was a kid, I got a fortune cookie that said, look forward to the coal in your stocking, and you were horrified. Oh, no. Here we go. Yeah. Rian's just going to throw gear at me because I'm a streamer, and then everyone types the bogged emote, and then I get reported, you know. That's probably what's going to happen. It's going to be great, though. As long as it's fashionable as fuck, I don't care what you hand me. I will wear level 1 gear if it makes me cute. I do not care. Although I'll probably glam the level 1 gear on them. You know, whatever. We'll make it work. Listen to me, Mico. You have performed great deeds and saved countless people. You are a hero of the realm. Yeah, he's going to ask us to give up that title. He's going to ask us to give up that relationship we have. Give up our ego. Give up our need to be the good guy. I think that's what he's going to tell us next. Here we go. Well, here's the thing, Sram. I really only run stuff either solo or with the community. I have never had a bad relation or interaction with anybody, any randoms, and I want to keep it that way. We have enough people in the community that I basically never have to play on my own or queue up for public queues. Especially with the support duties out there. Yeah. And I was bard only until the beginning of Heavensward a couple days ago, which if anybody wants to see my journey from the beginning of ARR, solving and curing my depression, and then finishing up ARR and all the post-content patches, I did Bard and Archer all the way through it because I didn't know any other classes that I really wanted to use long-term. It's all on the YouTube. You can find it there. Thank you, Fern. The last of that series will be publishing at about the end of this month. And then the YouTube videos, the archives, which are trimmed, of course, the trimmed archives from the start of Heavensward analysis to now will be a separate playlist. Oh, which reminds me, now is a perfect time. Hold on. Where is it? Did we post the thumbnail yet? Have they seen it? I know Leandri's probably seen it by now. Hold on. Let me go get it. I don't remember how far back it was. But I commissioned Yiz to make the thumbnail for this playlist. I made the first one for ARR, which is a bunch of Cocos in various classes trying to kill a slime and not doing a very good job at it. And I commissioned Yiz to make this one.
Listen.
And it came out so good. Let me see. Heavensward trailer reaction. It's also there, Lord of Sram. We actually start with that before getting into the game. I watch it once through, and then I do a live analysis of it, so we can just watch it without me talking, and then I talk over it the whole time. And it was really good. I've been gushing over Heavensward so far. It's been just fantastic. With ARR, there were a lot of moments where I was like, especially the end of the 2.55 patch. With spoiler alert, I was really sad about all of the unnecessary deaths of the scions, and I know now they're not dead because of dialogue at the beginning of Heavensward. Also, I'm going to play something that will do psychic damage to the entire chat while I look for the thumbnail. Oh, I scrolled too far. I believe that was enough, though. I believe that was enough to begin it in your head. I could have done papaya, but I didn't, and you're welcome. Oh, there it is. This is the finished version. Okay, Yiz says, okay, now it's done. Let me open the original here. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yiz did such a good job. Okay, I'm going to show you. There we go. Perfect. What the fuck is this? Don't worry. Panda, do you not recognize that? Do you not have an instant emotional reaction to that song? What the fuck are you doing with your life, Panda? All right, let me push this button. You're going to see it's not quite a flashbang. Yiz, before I show this, I would love, not that you have to, but I'm going to throw this out there, and if you want to do it, we do it. I'm jumping in the Final Femboys chat real quick. If you would like to join us as the artist, and Rihanna as well, because you were there, if the Catboys would like to, you can join me. Yes, and then you can tell me all about it. Okay? Like there we go. Hello, Catboys. So here's how I see this happening. You're going to tell me a little bit of the background, right? And then you're going to be like, and this is it. And then I'm going to show it. Okay? And then you can talk about it and gush. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, are you pulling it up or what?
So you talk about like the lead up if you want, like the history of it and why we did it and what your thought process if you want, or just be like, okay, here it is, and then talk about it. It's up to you. You can preamble if you want, is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, basically for Heavensward, for those who have not experienced Heavensward or anything, we all know that Ishgard is ice, cold, freezing, whatever. So going through, one of the bigger mobs we wanted to add was Goobus, because I love Goobus. Everybody loves the Goobus.
I love Goobs.
And so I figured instead of having a slime like in our first thumbnail, we would have Goobu be in our second one. And not just any Goobu, but the snow-covered Goobus, because you see them later. And you see them in Coerthus as well. They're part of the Fate mobs outside of Dragonhead. So going through that, I decided, okay, so Heavensward, let's have snowy area. Let's have maybe a snowy background. My first choice was a different dungeon because one of the bosses in that dungeon is a Goobu, but it wasn't snowy and it wasn't fitting for Heavensward theme. So Alex or Rian, suggested a different dungeon. So I was like, okay, let's go with Snowy Dungeon, even though it doesn't quite fit with Heavensward, because it comes earlier, but it has a lead into Heavensward. And it's a dungeon you've already done, so it's not like spoilers or anything like that. So I used the dungeon as background for it, because me and Alex went through and we're looking in the dungeon in just for a good spot for reference. So I got my screenshots, I got my Goobus, and then we had picked the classes specifically for Heavensward. So there is like the Astrologian, we have our Dark Knight, we've got Ninja, which seems to just be Coco themed because knives, and then Bard, because Bard is why not? That was one of your first classes that went through it, and have that in the party as well.
Cool. Okay, so now I will reveal. Boop. There you go. I'm going to take the camera away so you can really see it. This is our thumbnail for Heavensward. This will be on all the YouTube videos. And Yiz made this over the course of just a couple days. And I love it. Every time I look at it, I see things I didn't see before. I think it's fucking great. If you're like, what the fuck are these goats? No, they're goats. On the Twitch channel here, if you look at my emotes, they're all Coco the Goat. Long-standing channel mascot. And basically, every time we need a fill-in, we need something, he acts as a fill-in for anybody. It's really great, yeah. Ninja getting eaten, as is the tradition at this point. Yeah, I love it. Because at the time, we didn't know what our class was going to be. So we wanted to pull things that were either maybe the Astrologian or the Bard, which I had already done. Then there's the Dark Knight, which definitely makes some sense now. And then, of course, the Ninja, who is still just following us along and getting eaten by things, drawing aggro, the tank getting stuck in shit. The Astrologian, who knows this is a wipe and is just gonna fucking play solitaire until it kills him. The good luck Peloton, yes! Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Every time I look at it, I see new things. And what's great is if you look over
also things that were, yes, they are the Iodos tights.
Yeah. It's so good.
As part of the fact that we are going into Heavensward, I specifically picked the Heavensward gear sets for the final gear of when you hit max level. So Astrologian, of course, has its unique set, Ninja has its unique set, and then Dark Knight and Bard. The sprout icons were added at the end, and then the Mentor crown, because Astrologian, he's just like not interested, he knows it's a wipe.
I fucking love it. This is great. Yeah, and it's one thing. It's not even just that it represents Astrologian. The reason I commissioned Yiz for this is that, well, Yiz is part of the community, right? And has been for a long time at this point. Yiz gets the experience that we have, and I think this thumbnail really captures a lot of what we will look back at fondly in the future, and that's really what I want these thumbnails to be. They should capture the spirit of what we were at the beginning of that venture, but also, you know, try and incorporate a little bit of what we think will become by the end. And it's so good. There we go. Yeah, what song do you think the Bard is playing? I think he's honestly just hammering the Peloton button. So it's like he's cast it 5 times consecutively. There we go. I've got the Peloton on my thumb button on my mouse now, so I just want you to know that I'll still forget that it exists, but I will no longer have an excuse. So thank you so much for this, Yiz. I mean, it really just made my day when I saw it, and watching it come together from the sketch all the way to this point was just magical. So we'll have to get that to Kat so she can put it into the YouTube playlist.
Also, you get cookies if you know what dungeon that's from.
Oh. Is it the Darkhold?
No.
Damn.
Do I get cookies? I know what dungeon it is.
You do, because you were there, you nerd.
But I want cookies.
There we go. All right, take your guess, chat. All right, I'm going to get back to this.
But it is a dungeon that you have to go through as part of main story. And it is a dungeon that if you don't look at the arena where I drew it, you probably will not recognize it. So.
Well, I'm not gonna guess because I'll get it wrong. There we go. All right, I'll continue with this.
But yes, thank you for letting me draw the thumbnail. It was very, very nice because I love Heavensward. So.
I'm good. I'm glad. Fantastic. I shall continue then. There we go. So again, I think he's about to tell us to basically give up our attachment toward being the good guy in everyone's eyes and focus on just being the good thing that is needed in the world. And there's a distinction between those things that I think is inherently the core of what it means to be a Dark Knight. I was going to guess Stone Vigil, but I figured that's too obvious. Oh, damn, Stone Vigil would have been my next guess. I'm like, that sounds like the obvious bait answer, so I'm not going to use that. I'll definitely be wrong. So I didn't say anything. But I was there with you, Sram. I want you to know that. Yeah. The idea behind the Dark Knight was that I originally had him stuck in a tree or something. Basically, that he was just like, the tank was somehow fucking everything up, right? How did he get there, though? For me, it was, yeah, he was stuck in Dragoon mode and used a dive bomb on the goob, but put it on the wrong spot. Dive bombed the rafter instead and got stuck. Yeah, pretty good. I had a good time with it. Oh, shit. But you are no Dark Knight. A Dark Knight accepts that he cannot save everyone, that sometimes he is fortunate just to save himself. But that's exactly why we wanted to become Dark Knight. Hold on, character lore for a minute. After the events of the banquet and everything that happened there and us fleeing and everyone, like, dying in order to save us, we have been routinely the only survivor, or we have been the one everyone else was working to save this entire time. We're tired of being saved. We want to save ourselves. We want to stop relying on other people to save us. So that's why we're becoming a Dark Knight, is that it's very interesting to us. It's alluring, this idea of being wholly independent of anyone else's support, being able to make our own decisions, being our own unilateral authority on whatever we want to do, and not needing to be beckoned or called upon and following the will of Alfino, you know, all the time. Maybe we can make our own fucking decisions for a change. Maybe we could avoid getting into these catastrophic failures that Alfino leads us into time and time again. You know, maybe we can do that. But there's also this idea that if I were stronger, they wouldn't have to die for me, you know? And I think that's a big part of his motivation for wanting to become Tank. That's the lore that I've put in here. Originally, I was like, I don't know how the fuck we're going to work Dark Knight into the Bun Boy's lore. He's a farmer from Thavnair. What the hell? You know? But I think we've made it work. But that line he just said, I think, is a realization that maybe we're not really fully committed. Maybe we think that's what we want, but we haven't really come to that realization in full yet for ourselves. We haven't really come to that, to arrive at the full breadth and depth of what that means. It's kind of like when you say, you know, I'm going to be better from now. You're kind of suggesting that you start do that, but that you start doing that, trying to be that, but it's also abstract, and it's easy to say that you're going to do something, but when that opportunity comes to show the action, it can become very difficult to change those old habits. And I think there's a trepidation in him that he wants to be stronger, but I think there's also a fear of him becoming the next person to die and be sacrificed. And I think he has a lot of self-preservation in the sense that he just wants to live. He doesn't want to die for any of this, but he's here to help. He was never here to save Eorzea. He was never necessarily here to save a life. He's a good boy. He's going to help if he can. If he sees a building on fire, he's going to be like, oh shit, let's go get the dogs out. People can walk. Let's get the dogs out, though. He's going to go in and help where he can. He'll grab a fucking bucket of water and off we go. He'll call the fire department, something. He'll do something about it. He's not going out looking for fires. There's a big difference between those two things. Am I looking for people to save? No, but they keep falling into my fucking lap. You know, there's a big difference there. But I think that inherently becomes our character. And this is all... None of this is written by the game, but I think we have to consider how our character, knowing him, writing him, how he would respond to the dialogue as well. And I think that line would kind of stagger him a little bit and just be like, oh no. Maybe I'm not really committed to this idea. Maybe I just like this idea. Yeah. I think that may be what's happening here. That line, I think, really struck us at the heart. Yeah. Sacrifice, Mico, is to renounce that which binds you, to recognize that which matters, and forsake all that does not. Yeah, and that's important. I think we're still trying to hold on to the parts that we like, and I wonder if our character is tied too much in the identity of just being that helper. And I think so far we've been kind of power drunk on being the warrior of light, the savior of Eorzea, the conqueror of the conqueror of Garlemald. Well, the defender of Eorzea against Garlemald. You know, we have with the conqueror of Dalamud, the destroyer of Bahamut. You know, we have all these massive fucking titles. But we've always been the good guy when we've done that. We have always been the hero. We have always been the arbiter of justice and hope and peace. And never once have we had to do a bad thing for good reasons. This is the first time that our ethics will be challenged, in that we see the distance between opportunities that set us up to always be the good guy, and that if we aren't going to be seen as the good guy, are we still willing to do it? We have been thrust into positions in which we are seen as the bad guy, but everything we have done has been going in with good intentions that we're going to do the right thing for the right reasons, and we will be recognized for it. Or we've gone through these sort of redemption arcs where eventually the truth came out, which we're in the middle of now. We've been a felon before, accused of crimes, and we realized the truth would come out eventually, and we simply worked to make that happen. But the concept of us actually doing maybe a bad or questionable thing for what we believe to be the right reasons, ultimately, that is very different than our motivation so far as a character. And what's interesting is I think that we may need to draw inspiration from Roban, who did a questionably good or maybe bad thing by killing Taleji Adeleji, who was asking for it. Careful. For killing Taleji Adeleji in response to the death of his one and only confidant on the planet, after being provoked and egged on further in the very moment of his deepest despair, but that he did still make a choice. I would never agree to any analysis that said Roban lost control, because he never seemed to go out of control. Consumed by rage and out of control are different. He was consumed by rage, but I believe he made a decision. He was not insane by his rage. It was not insanity that made him do that. I believe it was absolute fucking clarity. He made a choice. 100%. The way it was presented that way. I can't imagine anyone else reading it differently than that, but it's possible. He made a decision to become the bad guy in everyone's eyes in that way. To do something that any other day of the week would have been very wrong. But in that moment, he did not care if it was wrong. He did not care if it was right. It was the thing to do. It was justice. It was righteous to him. And I agree with him, too. It was the right thing to do. Taleji Adeleji was a fucking problem. Did he deserve to die? No. I think he should have deserved to have to pay his taxes instead of evading it. I think he should have been made poor so he can understand how real people live. And then he should be made so fucking humble that he never opens his mouth again. That is what I would wish upon him and all IRL monitorists with him. But in reality, I mean, we're seeing a situation where we are now having to consider that maybe, not as dramatically, but maybe Roban should be admired in some way for his conviction. He wasn't guided by ethics, he was guided by conviction. And there's an important distinction between those things. And I think this is all going through his head right now as he's starting to make some of these connections himself. I think his brain's just fucking electrified right now by that. One, he's been called a bitch. He's never been called a bitch before by someone he liked, who also meant it. And he's being challenged in his real belief and his real conviction, because as we have established throughout ARR, I have always maintained that we didn't actually care about saving the world. It's just it paid the most money. It pays the most. It was the best paying thing that we could do in-game. In gameplay, it was the best paying occupation we could find, was working with the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. We didn't seek out becoming a Scion or a Warrior of Light. It happened to us. We got wrapped up in it. We could not find a way to kind of avoid it, and it was just attractive enough that we didn't walk away from it. And in not walking away from it, we inevitably got sucked up into it. There was no mechanism by which we sought this position we're in, and we always tried to keep some kind of distance from it. As the Scions were getting challenged, we never said we were getting challenged. We always said the Scions are being challenged right now. We always said the Crystal Braves are being challenged right now. I will help the Crystal Braves. But it's always establishing an otherness about them. That it's not me, it's not us, it's not we, it's me, and then there's you. And he always maintained this distance. I think he has a lack of commitment to the things that he's doing. I think in large part because he doesn't feel like he belongs. He isn't really one of them. So I think he pushes himself away in order to give himself an excuse to feel that way further. But also, he knows as an outsider, he doesn't want to get it too deeply involved in any one thing because he needs to have an exit strategy. He has seen things go wrong, go badly. He does not want to be so deeply involved that there is no escape when shit hits the fan. And he has always been able to kind of get out of trouble in that way. He's always found himself able to wiggle free of whatever trap he fell into. And this is before ARR actually begins. This was pre-lore. We developed it over the course of ARR, but it was his history leading up to his arrival in Gridania at the beginning of ARR. He had lived as a vagabond for several years, going through largely Ul'dah because it was most similar to his homeland, I suppose now makes sense. But he had been just a little kind of a slum boy in Ul'dah for a long time before deciding, fuck Ul'dah, I'm leaving. Which probably was the response of him getting into some kind of trouble, not with the law, but getting into trouble probably with some other gangsters or some shit that was going on. Maybe the Alamegans arrived, and then he was like, okay, this place is getting crowded, and there's a lot of attention on the poor people. I'm going to get the fuck out of here before it gets dangerous. Some reason for him to leave. And he ends up in Gridania, largely where he started, and then meets Mother Miyun, who kind of, there you go, you're a warrior of light now. And it just kind of happens on its own. But I think he's being challenged in all that so far. All of his behavior up until this point has been non-committal. And I think Frey is telling him, you're a bitch. If you want to really get power out of this, if you really want to be successful, you've got to stop pussyfooting around, and you've got to commit to doing something in your life. Everything the Bun Boy has done up to this point in his life has been running away from something. He always thinks he's running to something, but he's never running to something. He's running to that objective because it gets him away from whatever's behind him. What great character development, right? And this is all shit that can happen if you really invest in the lore of your character, but I really like to focus on what is he thinking when he's hearing this dialogue, because to me, that's where the beautiful story comes from. And that one line, I think, sets off a whole avalanche of shit going through his head right now. Yeah. Right, that's right. I couldn't remember if he had any dialogue after that point where he had told us to go. I'm pretty sure he did, Srom, which would be like if he went to court, they could not use the not guilty by insanity plea. They couldn't have done it. Because he was Lucy, clearly had lucidity in that moment that he was able to communicate, strategize, plan. That is lucidity. Yeah, see, I mean, I'm exactly right, as I always am. But I mean, of course, we didn't even have to say it. Anyway, here we go. Sacrifice, Mico, is to remove that which binds you. To recognize, the rain sets in. To recognize that which matters, and forsake all that does not. Yeah, see, he thinks. All that just went through his head. At the very least, you must realize that you cannot continue to carry all these burdens. Oh, is he going to go that angle? Interesting. I wonder what burdens he might be reflecting to, that I'm probably the burdens of caring too much about what others think and feel and need, and that we need to just go by our own compass now, instead of what everybody else wants us to do, because I have complained many times that we just get dragged along by the other people in our organizations. We just get dragged along. We just happen to be there. We're an effective tool for Alphino. We're used as a token. We're used as an ace card to ensure that a fight goes the way that we want it to be. We are being used by the scions of the Seventh Dawn. I have felt that for a long time. Our relationship is not as equals. We are an other. And we are an outsider who is being deployed to do certain jobs that the rest of the scions can't effectively do. So I think that we probably do have a lot of burdens of our guilt, maybe a little bit of resentment for the environment we're in, because it is these same scions who have routinely fucked up the basic stuff that gets everything to fall apart. Losing the Waking Sands as a location because they could not deal with the very basic concept of counter-reconnaissance. We lost the Rising Stones because Alphino was so goddamn stupid with his self-indulgent need to be a diplomat, playing at a diplomat, being like 16, 17 years old, and thinking he's going to walk up to Merlwib and be able to out-duel her wit. Like, fuck that. The very second you saw her, you should have gone, yes, ma'am. Very first thing that should come out of his mouth, and he should have never talked to her again. Except to ask for help and thank her for her time. Shut the fuck up, Alphino. Every time he opened his mouth, he just made things worse. And ultimately, he assembled all these Crystal Braves and led them to a point that was so loose, so vulnerable to corruption, that it took almost no time at all for them to be bought out by somebody with actual political savvy Lolorito. Took almost no time at all for him to be completely usurped in his own home, right? But we watched this happen. We saw it coming. We were the very ones who discovered the conspiracy ourselves. We followed the conspiracy through. We were led away from it at the moment where we really could have and should have been doing something about it to stop it all from happening. But lo and behold, the narrative happened in the way that it did. So I think there is a lot of burden that we have for this kind of resentment for not being able to call this place home and being an outsider, being a refugee, being a whatever we are that is not really belonging here. This resentment for not feeling that we belong and not being treated like we belong in a way, because all the thank yous in the world don't make us part of you. You can thank me all day, but there's a difference between being deployed and then being appreciated for the work that we do. There's a difference there that I think we were only ever kept at arm's length by the scions. We were never one of them. We were around, we were for them to use. And I think there's some resentment to that relationship, that we were only ever friendly enough that you could ask me a favor, but never friendly enough that you could sit me down at your table and have a meal with me. In that sense, to break bread. You would never break bread with me, but you would always be able to ask me for something. And I think he's felt that in his heart for a long time, but it hasn't really been something he had conceptualized or really been able to put the words to. But I think, again, he's starting to sense that. That probably is a lot of the burden that he talks about, this growing resentment at being invaluable but not valued, if that makes sense. And I think this conversation with my husband, Frey, is definitely enlightening to him. And Frey is saying to me all the right things for our character to be able to go, fucking right, you're right, you know? I think that's what's going through his head right now. All right. Yeah, I want to know. Unless you wish to, oh, damn, yeah. Unless you wish to die a slave. Which, no, he doesn't. And I was just talking about, he feels like he's just been dragged along. Useful and used. Invaluable, but not valued beyond that. He has not had a self-esteem based in anything other than outward acceptance. And I think his self-valuation has come from how useful he is to others. I wonder if that is a basis of his personality. You know what? I think it makes a lot of sense, too, because he was a vagabond for so long. His jobs, dancing, singing, whoring. These are the things he did in Ul'dah and in Limsa when he was just bumping around. He'd not really gone to Gridania yet. It was his third place to go after he'd been run out of both city-states. He arrived there. Every one of those occupations he did just to survive are all jobs in which you were dependent upon pleasing other people. So I think he's just a born people pleaser. He doesn't really identify as one, but his behavior and his motivations would suggest that he is. And what comes with those people is they often find that they have a very difficult time deciding what they want, because they have been raised and trained, and that belief has been reinforced, that they have to get someone else's permission to be happy. They have to be dismissed or discharged. They have to be discharged of any expectations before they're allowed to sit down and breathe. They cannot choose to do those things for themselves. They have to be allowed to. Some authority figure has to tell them, okay, go relax. Okay, I don't need your help anymore, thank you. Or some other signal that checks a box that says, I am no longer needed, I can go now. Until that happens, they stay engaged, even if everything in the body is screaming and telling them to go somewhere. People pleasers tend to end up having that, and it's very self-abusive, and it's hard to break. It is so fucking hard to break. It takes a lot of therapy to get past that. And I wonder if there's a bit of that in him. But I don't think and it's not that people just know this about themselves. People call themselves people pleasers, but I don't think to the point that it is like a debilitating character flaw, being a people pleaser like this. He's not a sycophant. He doesn't tell people what they want to hear. But I think his behavior reveals a deep desire to please the people around him, that he wants to be wanted, he wants to be liked, he wants to feel helpful. It comes full circle. I think that's exactly what's going through here. Unless you went to die a slave. The result of being a people pleaser, though, is that you're always doing whatever will please them, and people will never be fully satisfied, ever. There will always be one more thing they need from you. There's always one more thing they'll expect of you. You will never finish that list of things other people expect you to do and be. You will never do it. That's what he needs to hear right now. So I'm hoping that Frey does that. The weather's perfect. I'm fine. Just a little tired. The communion is ended, and with it our time together. But we shall meet again, as we did before. Interesting. Now we got Edge of Darkness. I don't have the space to read right now. My brain is in writing mode now. It's so interesting. You finish that conversation, be like, fuck yeah, my rock is better now. There we go. Yeah, man, it just... That's what I love about storytelling. It's what I love about knowing something about literary analysis on an academic level, is that my natural interest in how stories are formed and how they relate to real-life experiences, because that's what stories are. They're surrogate real-world experience. That's what stories do. They allow us to experience the events and experiences of other people, real or fictional, and it allows us to really explore these concepts that may not be appropriate to the experiences we have. It allows you to step out of your own skin and into somebody else's, which, having said that now, doesn't always sound appealing, but, you know, metaphorically, it sounds like a damn good time. It's a big reason I love Halloween, and I've always described it that way. I get a day to be somebody else, and isn't that just fucking wonderful? I love that. I love that feeling of I am not me today. I could put on a mask, I put on a costume. It's a big reason I'm into cosplay. I think it's all led to me being able to be a voice actor because I'm very comfortable being anybody else. I have also, more recently, become being very comfortable being myself as well. So that's good. That's a nice little bonus. But I've also got a strong knack for being able to identify and adopt other people's personalities. Which makes it easy to be an actor. You tell me I need to be something, well, I can be that. I can be the best that. There we go. Anyway. Yeah, and I love exploring the psychology of character design because it comes down to the same psychological factors and personality traits that lead everybody to being who they are. It's just infinitely interesting to me. There's just no limit to the depth of which I want to dig into it, you know? All right, anyway, I don't know why I walked in here. Bad things have happened in this room. Why would I ever return? All right. This one we can also do. This is what? Dilution of the... Declaration of Blood. Oh. I feel like this quest is going to be the... So you're finally awake. It's going to be... This is the quest. Slate Fist Crunch of Fim Clan. Excellent. So fucking good. All right, Frey. I'm actually going to not talk to you right now. What I'm going to do is take a nice little sit right here on the stairs so I can get squished by people walking by. You know what? I'm going to... Right there's a good spot. Those who've been here for a long time know what's about to happen. You're not going to like me very much. All right. Oh, hold on. I need this first. Bam. All right, chat. I had a good time. Hello? I need to get that off my thing. I had a great time. We got through 2 job quests. I thought we were going to be getting through all 3 and then go dive into MSQ. That didn't happen. Here's what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to come back 3 hours ago or so tomorrow, and we'll pick up here with the next job quest for Dark Knight, and we'll be at that point I'm imagining continuing MSQ, but I'm probably going to get this thing leveled to 50 before tomorrow's stream, hopefully. Get up to 50, do the next 2 Dark Knight job quests, and then if we have extra time, I'll go and do MSQ. We've just gotten to the estate of Oishifant's dad. We've not really had any conversations after that point, so we really are just at the beginning of Heavensward. So we're going to pick up there at some point, but I need to make sure that I've gotten these job quests caught up and I've got these jobs leveled so that I can MSQ with them. So getting Dark Knight to 50 and then Machinist to 50 is my first priority before continuing with the MSQ. So that's what we're going to do. We'll be rotating between those 3 classes, Dark Knight, Machinist, and Dragoon, all the way through Heavensward. We will dip into other classes if needed if we get way too much. If we get way too much EXP and we're out-leveling the MSQ a bunch, then we'll just continue to add in other classes as needed in order to make the most of that sweet, delicious MSQ EXP. I can't wait to get more. For those of you on YouTube, thanks for watching, guys. For those of you on Twitch, follow the channel if you're new and you've enjoyed it tonight. We'll be back 3 hours ago tomorrow to continue with it. I'll be on Discord if you want to come hang out with us. We got a great little community growing here. If you want to get some people to play with, we are on Famfred and the Primal Server Cluster, and we would love to find more people to hang out with and play. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, keeping me company tonight, and giving me such a great audience to be able to analyze with and talk with. I had a great time tonight. I really did. Can't wait to do it again tomorrow. I'll see you then. Good night.